What was that? Oh. That was my, I had my VOD from yesterday playing by accident, and it took 30 minutes for it to get to the point where I got on camera. That makes sense. I was like, what is that noise? I was thinking subs from yesterday, because like it played the TTS. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Also, Jason, thank you for the raid, by the way. I don't know if I said thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. We're talking about Pirate Software a little bit. What is another update? Now that COPES is no longer charged with sex trafficking, his lawyer asked to be released on condition of his own in Miami and offered a $1 million bond. Yeah, bro's getting out. Bro's also New York, thank you for the 6 months resubscription. Much appreciated. We'll wait for more updates on this. But yeah. Let's see what the max sentence for that is. For conviction under the Mann Act. The maximum penalty for violating the Mann Act is 10 years in prison. What? Yeah. And a fine. That's the maximum sentence. And he has 2 charges. We'll get back to this in a second. But I think it's time we talk getting into the pirate software stuff. And then does anybody have a link to the Miskiff clip? I think I closed the link yesterday.
Talk about a really important thing that is going to affect a lot of us and is affecting a lot of us who are into the gaming space, which is the Stop Killing Games initiative. I know a lot of people have been asking me to talk about it for a while. In the beginning, I was like, this is a cool initiative. Sign the petition and everything, let it do its thing. Boom. Apparently it's not going as well as people.
Katie just subscribed. Good morning.
What did R. Kelly get for the Mann charges? He's not sentenced yet. He's just been found guilty and not guilty, convicted of two counts. So we don't know. We don't know.
Create front invite.
We'll add this to the docket. What's up, Katie? Thank you for the 26-month resubscription.
Updates on the new H3H3 lawsuit. If you remember,
not this one. Sorry, this one.
People wanted to, and as it should be doing, they're about 700K signatures into the million that they need as of recording this video. And I did make a post about it on the community tab to try and like push it in a different direction on my main channel. The reason I'm doing a video of it here on the Spidicy channel is I don't know what's going on. There's something happening with the algorithm in terms of my channel right now. I've seen it happen to some other channels of similar size to mine, where after I did schedule one, for some reason, I hate to say like, oh, the algorithm's against me and they flipped a switch and all this kind of stuff. But sometimes it really just does feel like that.
Which should I watch to make you the richest? Not YouTube, because premium doesn't matter when I get demonetized because of either music reasons or whatever reasons, you know what I mean? But I do get my ad money on Twitch.
That something happened under the hood. It's happened in the past multiple times. I've talked to some other YouTubers about it. Everyone just seems to be like, hey, my views just disappeared. Like my main audience aren't getting any of my videos anymore. What's happening? I don't know. It's hard to talk about without it seeming like, oh, bro, you fell off, you're washed, whatever. So I just tend to kind of like stay away from it, see what happens, see what shakes loose, and then get back to uploading again. Something's going on. I don't know what's happening. So to not upload this in a place where the algorithm is in flux for a channel of that size, and again, not knowing if this is actually going to go out to any of the people who are there. Death Stranding went up. Clearly it's not being served to the people who would normally watch it, as seen as the previous series on it, on Death Stranding 1, did so well. I don't know. That's a different discussion to have. But I wanted this to try and reach more people, which honestly, weirdly, I think on a second channel, it's going to reach more people right now than it will the main channel. Again, I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to do as well by this as I can. I'm also going to try and keep this succinct and say the things that I know about it, and try and not spread misinformation about it, because a lot of people have talked about it and talked about it really well. They've given over some really great information. Ross, Accursed Farms, who has designed the initiative, has a very good video talking about it, which I will leave in the description for you to be able to go and get like the weeds of the information about it. Because again, I'm going to butcher it, and someone like Pirate Software has gone out and done a horrible video on it.
Man, I love the fact that people are calling Pirate Software out by name. Like, genuinely. Man, I love that. I love that.
Representing what it is, giving a ton of misinformation and actually kind of killing the initiative from the get-go, and then just being very egotistical about it, not saying sorry, and really opening up to it and being like, shit, my bad, and then fixing any of the things.
Shirt. Chat, you're gonna. For some reason, this shirt has been showing up a lot in creators that I've watched. And I'm wearing the same shirt, but it's in blue. You know, you could tell by the fact that the crease for the sleeve is like lower down than the shoulder is.
Things that he said.
I do have this one though. I do have that one. I think it's probably my dirty clothes bin.
About it.
Wasn't he always on a high horse? And I'm so happy he's getting called out. Yeah, because he is so egotistical, right? He's so egotistical. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's just, he's unwilling to just be wrong on something, and that's okay to be like, hey, yeah, maybe I got this wrong, or maybe I don't fully understand this, right? Or yeah, I still disagree, but you know, I don't want to like tank this initiative or whatever. But he's like, no, I'm going to talk about this initiative just so I think you shouldn't support it. You know? And that's just like why? It's just so gross. And now he's getting called out by all avenues of the internet. I think that's good. I think that's good.
It's a fucking mess. So I want to put my voice to it and my name to it and whatever audience we can get behind it to try and sign this petition, which I will also leave in the description. There's a petition for you to be able to sign it in the EU, and there's a petition for you to be able to sign it in the UK because Brexit and fucking a whole mess of stuff involving that as well, to make it even more difficult to do anything like this in this world. It's happening in the EU right now because Ross himself said that, I mean, again, I don't want to say stuff that's wrong. I'm so sorry if I say anything that is. I'm doing this with the best of intentions. There is a lot of nuance in this, and I'm trying to get the cliff notes right. Again, like somebody else didn't. But basically, stuff in the US is harder to do, and there is a chance to be able to put stuff into law in the EU to be able, at least get it in people's faces. That's the purpose of it now. Hopefully it would go into law to try and like protect games and protect game preservation.
Because the US is like anti-regulation of all kinds, basically. So yeah, it's way easier to get things done going through like the EU route.
And all that stuff, and just for the consumers to keep things good for everybody. And the EU has been pretty good at doing certain things in the past, like putting, I think it was the EU that put USB-C chargers in like iPhones and stuff, right? Instead of Apple being able to just sell their proprietary stuff all the time. And as he pointed out, people in Australia went after Valve and took them to court to be like, we need some sort of refund policy because it's bullshit that you don't have it. It goes against law for consumers. And then that went through, and then everybody who uses Valve.
The version I guess more about him appearing smart more than anything else. You could make an argument about the initiative being flawed, but you do that with the intent of being constructive. Yeah, but he went out to say like, he literally was like, I'm talking about this initiative so you don't support it because it's so stupid, you know? Man, these people are so fucking stupid. They're so dumb. They're morons. They don't know what they're talking about. They're so dumb. Instead of being like, hey, I'm in the industry. This is how the industry works. This is what my critiques of this are. If they fix these things, then I'd be down to support it. But he was just very, just anti the initiative to begin with because he's biased, right? He was viewing it from the game publisher side of it. And he took the most uncharitable interpretation of the initiative by being like, oh, you're gonna force companies to have to maintain servers until the end of time, which will be too expensive and it's not fair to companies to do, right? When that's not what people are asking for, even in the initiative, right? And it got to the point where like there are people, there's a chatter in here, he was doing the same thing, he was running the same line. That's like, be like, oh, that's insane or crazy, right? Let people host, self-host their own servers, or just leave the game in a playable state to begin with. So even at this point, we're talking about like 5% of all games. If we talk about just like live service MMOs that would need a server infrastructure to be like functional or whatever, like that's like 5 to 7% of all games. So even then, to kill the entire initiative because you don't like the way that it addressed this one specific game genre is kind of crazy, and that there could be constructive criticism about that as well, right? But even then, like nobody's saying you have to maintain those games for all time. It's just as simple as if you are going to sell a game, right, you have to provide functionality for that game, right, after it is sold. You know, give the server binary so people can make their own private servers. There's no reason not to do it if you're shutting down anyway. If you're going to end service for the game regardless, to move on to other projects, there's no reason to not provide private server infrastructure so that Johnny, 13-year-old Johnny, can just boot up his father's old laptop, throw the private server of World of Warcraft on it, you know, and him and his 5 friends can run around in World of Warcraft and beat bosses and do raids and stuff. Like, what are you losing with that? You know? Like, what are you, why are you so against that concept? You're not losing any money. You're not supporting the game anyway. It just doesn't make sense. Would you believe did a Candace Owens video? I do not care. Does what the initiative wants. The functionality of Toontown and Club Penguin were left. Now you can make your own servers of those games. Yeah, there's Club Penguin Remastered or whatever. I don't know what it's called. It's a business decision to make games always online. Gamers complain when companies refuse to increase server allocation at peak times. Same different perspective. Yeah.
And Steam ended up being able to get a refund.
Based, which is why I have not played it. And I probably won't play it. Ever. Even if it's a free trial, I still probably won't play it because it's so boring. I think as a capitalist genuinely thinks that access to old games will eat into sales of new products, which is insane and probably untrue. That's definitely untrue. Right? If anything, it keeps your name as a publisher in the mainstream. You know?
Through that platform. And I think that's really cool. And there is an initiative to try and do that with games, which at its core, it's basically to preserve games that, let's say you have a game that there's tons of games out there, for example, that are being supported by developers and they're getting patches, or they're live service games and they're getting a whole bunch of other stuff. And it, again, there's a lot more nuance to it. And I urge you to go watch Ross's video on it and to try and learn more about it. But at the end of it, it's basically to be like, when a developer wants to stop supporting the game, which inevitably it will, you don't really expect a game to be supported absolutely forever till the end of time because they're working on new stuff. You can't really support something for like however many people are going to be playing something years in the future or whatever. And it's unreasonable to expect a developer to support a game forever. I don't think anyone would expect that. It's just, I don't know, in a perfect world, sure, but it's not going to happen. Money talks. But if a developer wants to stop supporting a game, if they want to kind of, sunset the game, that's the term I'm looking for, then to put stuff in place where you can hand it over to the consumers where they can start supporting it themselves and put stuff out and we can still enjoy the game and whatever community for the game is still there, or any game you want to play. People keep using The Crew as a thing because Ubisoft are like, yeah, we're shutting it down. And then the thing you bought is no longer yours. And that's pretty fucked up. Like in a lot of other practices, like, it's maybe this is a bad analogy, but you like buy a Blu-ray movie, you have the movie, you can watch the movie. But for games, none of that legislation is really in place yet. And Ross himself has put up some other stuff showing like Blizzard have it in their terms to be like, we can stop supporting this game at any time. And then you're...
Yeah, that's the craziest part is that you have like a physical disc that says The Crew on it that has like a functional game on it for the most part on this disc. And you put this disc into your old Xbox One, because that's the old console now. Not even the 360. The Xbox One is now the old console. Right? And it spins up. It loads up the splash screen. You press enter game. Sorry, servers shut down. You can't play this game that you bought and you own because the servers are shut down. Even though all the cars are on the disc, all the maps are on the disc for the most part. Like, these things are like on the disc. And you can't even drive around in a training map. They just stop you from playing it entirely. And that's dumb. That's stupid.
You're basically just buying a license for a game.
Was that one
You
game
don't.
that was EA shut down in a week? Concord. You can no longer play Concord ever again, which is like not even from the consumer side, from the game development side. Like, we all laugh at Concord being a bad game or whatever, but I think the developers should still be allowed to show the product that they worked on for years to their kids. It's like, say they have with movies. A movie is entirely done and completed and edited and is the final product, but that is never, ever, ever, ever allowed to be seen by anybody because now it's a tax write-off by a movie studio. You know? That's not only unfair to the consumers, and even then the consumers hadn't bought the product yet, but it's unfair to the people who made the movie.
Own it. So, like, remember back in the day, maybe back in my day, when I bought like a PS2 game or a PS1 game, and like, I have that game and now it's mine and I can play it forever. And patches weren't really a thing back then, but like, you have the thing and you can play it. But there are certain games that come out and certain developers don't want to support them anymore, and then the game's gone and you can't play it, and that's fucked. So if they don't want to support it, then hand it over to the consumers. The consumers will keep it alive. There's been stuff in PC gaming for so long with like player-run servers for things and everything. Again, there's a whole lot more to this.
Like, perfect example. Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Right now it's a moneymaker, but let's say when GTA 6 comes out, GTA 6 comes out, and then Rockstar is like, I'm gonna say Rocksteady, that's a different publisher. Rockstar is like, oh, no more GTA Online, right? That would suck. That wouldn't be great. And then they were like, by proxy of no more GTA Online, that shuts down the entire 5M community. No more GTA RP ever because we're shutting down GTA Online, right? People would be kind of upset, I would say. You know what I mean? People would not be very happy. Wait, why did my chat window stop highlighting messages that's adding me? It's so weird. If I have its own fan community that's self, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if that was the case, that would be crazy. Right? That would be insane. Because, like, that's what keeps the game alive. And if that happens, that would be a problem. And we'll all push back on that as well. But no one is saying that they have to run GTA Online forever, but allowing the community to do community-run servers, right? And create their own, like, RP servers and build off the game's functionality, which thankfully, like, Rockstar doesn't, like, take down. Yeah, I'll just restart this because it's weird. Right? Okay, we'll see if this works. I don't know why I stopped highlighting messages for me. Yeah. Why do you think server-based games don't give the binaries to the community to make their own servers? Genuine question. Money. No, but still not doing it. Oh, this is the wrong account. Okay. It's changed my account for some reason. Okay, I should fix it now. It was on my gaming channel account. Yeah. Hey, let's continue.
And I'm just trying to be succinct about it to try and get it in people's heads.
That first Rivals game you played were all bots? Nah, that's Cope. I was just that good. I was just that good.
What it actually is. And this initiative is to put it in front of EU legislation to show them, hey, this is fucked. this shouldn't be like this. Can we change it? And then hopefully it'll trickle down everywhere else if this happens because it's put into law in the EU. Again, a lot more to it, and I'm really, I'm probably butchering what this is, but I really believe in what they're trying to do, and I think Ross himself has really good intentions behind it. And from my perspective, there is no downside to signing this. If you sign it, it hits 1 million signatures, and then it goes in. And I mean, if it doesn't go through, at least we tried. At least Ross tried. He's put so much of his life and his time and his energy behind it. And I think it's really commendable. And I think there's so many people in the industry that have made, like other developers who have made games, and then the higher ups close it down and it's not available to anybody anymore. And they themselves would love to put it in consumers' hands to be like, now you guys take it and do it, because we're not getting funding to be able to support this game anymore. And there's so many people. There's a massive initiative behind it on Reddit. People really coming together. There's sort of like this, I don't want to say cult following because it sounds a bit more negative, but there is this real sort of like rallying behind it from gamers right now that they're like, yeah, the things we buy, we should own.
Yeah.
And everything that goes with that. Like I said, there's a whole lot more to it that I urge you to look into it. But if you just want to watch this video and sign the petition, then go for it. Again, I don't really see a downside to it. You sign it and then it goes through or it doesn't. Like, what's the downside to that? I think that's where something like the Pirate Software video, just so desperate to be right and be a contrarian about something, to go with a meme, I see this as an absolute win. At least.
See, chat. Let me put this in context. Remember a few days ago where I told you that, and Hassan also talked about that it takes one person to come out and call somebody out for then the entire space to jump on it? Talking about the Ethan Klein stuff. That is exactly what we're seeing with the Pirate Software stuff. Right? This Pirate Software stuff has been happening for 5 months, since 5 months ago, like a year ago. Right? It took Charlie to come out and step out and make a video about it and be like, Pirate Software is wrong about this. Support the initiative. For now, Mutahar to jump on, the Act Man to jump on, Jack the guy to jump on, you know, to criticize Pirate Software and to support the initiative. It takes that one person to do that. And it's the same thing for Ethan Klein, right? Or for anything, right? When something bad is and wrong is going on, it takes that one person to stick their neck out and be like, I'm going to call this out because this is not good, for then other people to feel justified in doing so. Was your old Pirate Software on this too, the one on YouTube? Yes. I talked about Stop Killing Games specifically in this video. You know, I talked about it like a year ago at this point for the first time. But this video almost got 30,000 freaking views. It's kind of crazy. Here.
This is
like,
and that really pisses.
Going to address the few games that don't, like The Crew, where if you opened up The Crew in 2024, 2025 now, and you clicked the title screen button to start it, nothing happens. It will kick you back out. Same take. Same take. But yeah. Other people already on Pirate Software's original take when he refused to talk to Louis Rossman about what he was misunderstanding and misframing. Yes, but their big YouTubers didn't pick up on it. Not really. People were talking about it like on Twitter and stuff, but it wasn't like a concerted effort around calling Pirate Software out and pushing this shit forward until Charlie re-brought it back up. And then it got like a repushed, revamped. Right? Also, Pirate Software is a person. This is Pirate Software. Since Charlie made the video, they've gained about 300,000 signatures in the initiative. Yeah. Have an idea of if they want to sunset a game like The Crew because they made a sequel, people who bought the original should get a discount on the new game. No, even then. Right? Even then, it should still be playable. It's literally as simple as like, let me go in and look at all the nice little cars and stuff, you know? Let me go in, look at all the cars, let me drive around in like in a you know, tutorial track or a practice mode. Let me add my friends in peer-to-peer connection and we race against each other. Open up time trials. so I can race against the time trials and stuff like that. Like, stuff like that, you know? So I get what you're saying. But I think that still doesn't fix the issue. Because I bought the game, I should still be able to play the game. Is he into gay furry porn? Maybe, I don't know. If he's into gay furry porn, then good for him. Will Heartbound and Star Citizen come out first? Star Citizen. Is Star Citizen still in like early access or beta? I see a lot of hype about the game like once a year, I would say. Once a year, somebody's like, oh, Star Citizen is coming out soon. I know it. I know it. Look at all the cool stuff it has. And you're just like, yeah, okay. And like, you can purchase this cool ship for like $1,000. Yeah. When it comes out, it'll be super sick when you have this cool, super sick ship and nobody else has it. I'm just like, yeah, sure, buddy. It'll come out eventually. There's about like a $45,000. There's a $45,000 bundle. Yeah, it's come on. It does look. I will say, it does look interesting. Star Citizen does look like an interesting game, like in theory, but I don't see it coming out anytime soon. 45,000. Yeah, it's $45,000 for the ship bundle. I can't wait for my grandkids to play Star Citizen. Watch it launch like day one No Man's Sky, right? Wait, I know this guy. This guy makes videos about like Raspberry Pis, right? He's a Raspberry Pi guy. Yeah, I knew it. Man, I'm just a freaking nerd, bro. Why did I know this? I'm such a freaking nerd. I saw his microcomputer video. Shout out Jeff, he's from North Carolina like me. Yo, W, I'm from North Carolina too. I'm telling you, North Carolina is on the come up, chat. People think about like, oh, cool states to be from. People are like, oh, I'm from California. I'm from Texas. I'm from New York. North Carolina, we almost there. Right? Once I get super, super famous, and I'll be like, dog, I'm from North Carolina, and I'm super famous and stuff. Right? People are gonna flock to North Carolina. I'm gonna put North Carolina on the map. Me, not Steph Curry, who went to Davidson College, not J. Cole, not who else is from North Carolina? But what about the best areas to stay in North Carolina? I need this. It's about to gentrify. If you're gonna gentrify, Charlotte probably. Michael Jordan went to UNC. True. I also went to UNC, but the Charlotte version. I went to UNC Charlotte, not the other one, because they waitlisted me. F you, UNC. Freaking waitlisted me. Or Raleigh's pretty good. I think Cary is cool to live in if you want to work, you know. Raleigh's cool to live in. Charlotte's cool to live in. Cary's cool to work in. Asheville is nice to look at. What's the rivalry between North Carolina and South Carolina? Why are there two Carolinas? It's not really a rivalry because nobody really cares about South Carolina, if we're being real. Like, we have Michael Jordan, y'all have Lindsey Graham, you know? Thoughts on Laurenburg? I don't think I've been to Laurenburg. What about PD Pablo? Who's PD Pablo? No offense to PD Pablo. Is that sports ball? I don't know sports ball like that.
You will own nothing.
Well, let's finish this video first. Not this one. This is me. Not this one. Not this one. Not this one. This one.
These gamers will make their voices heard, as cringe as that might sound to people who are not really in the space. But I love video games. I'm so involved in them. I'm so engaged with, like, I went to a thing for Death Stranding last night, and I just spent a lot of time talking to people who make games, either on the voice acting side, on the casting side, in the audio side. There were some people who were just a coder on games. And these people just love making games so much that they want to be involved in them and just give it to people and just make games good. Like, at the end of the day, that's really all it is. And I think initiatives like that are a really good way of kind of
This is 15 years ago. I was like freaking, what was that, 10? And I was 8. No, it's 9. Yeah, I was 9. North Carolina. We gonna do it. Okay, I have heard this song before. Yeah, North Carolina chat. Raise up. Raise up. It also has Dukes, so I have to hate. It also has UNC though. You know what I mean? So, you know, he remade this after 9/11. W.
like rallying the community behind each other, getting involved, and just speaking out on it. And that's why I wanted to make this video. And again, I know a lot of people will say, I wish he put this up on his main channel. But again, I mean, just go back through the channel right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on with it. And I worry that there's also a thing with YouTube's algorithms right now where if you're just uploading gaming content, sometimes if you upload something that's not gaming, it will get suppressed and buried and not really go to the people who it should go to. And that's one of the things MatPat was talking about when he retired, that we had him on Brain Leak where he's talking about these silos of content where it's like, if you're a gaming channel, kind of have to stick with that. That's why so many people who do like Fortnite, and they've done it so much that now it's like, well, that's kind of all you can do on your channel. Because if you do something else, it takes so much Herculean effort to get over that algorithm to start pushing your content to other people who are not into that. It's not going to push it to people who are not into that thing. And this is gaming related, but again, I'm trying to put it in front of the eyes of the second channel has no stakes in it. I'm not going to have monetization or anything like that turned on in this video. So it's just a case of like getting it out, getting it in front of as many eyeballs as I can, and getting it. Maybe there's people who aren't subscribed to Jacksepticeye who are on this channel and putting it out in front of your eyes. Again, I'm just trying to do my best by what this is. So hopefully we can get some more signatures. I did say in my...
Yeah, I think we got the gist of this. But yeah, that's Jacksepticeye videos on Stop Killing Games. Calling out Power Software. I want to see what Jeff is saying as well.
And be happy. I've heard that message a lot. A month ago, I had a second video on self-hosting on this channel taken down. YouTube said it was harmful or dangerous content. I appealed that, but my appeal was rejected. Luckily, I have enough reach, I was able to get a second chance. Most content creators aren't so lucky, and content about tools like Jellyfin and LibreElec get buried over time. But it's not just self-hosting. On my second channel, I posted a quick video about my frustrations buying a dishwasher. Yeah, a dishwasher. I bought a Bosch 500 series because our old one broke and we needed one quick. All the online reviews for it were glowing, and Consumer Reports had crowned it as the second best dishwasher out of all the ones that they...
If I'm being real, chat, if I'm buying a dishwasher, I'm buying this one. You know what I mean? It's literally 5th on the list, and it's a fraction of the price compared to all of the other ones. If I'm buying this one. It beats out a $2,000 dishwasher. Give me this one. Give me this one right here.
They tested. But they were reviewing the 2024 model. The 2025 model hid wash cycles behind an app and swapped push buttons for a frustrating capacitive touch panel. The app requires a Bosch account, and you have to connect your dishwasher to Wi-Fi. That's is dumb. And yes, I know there's a hack for local access, but that only works after you connect it the first time to Bosch, giving them your data. It's insane. So insane, this recent XKCD kinda hurts being so painfully true and poignant. Self-hosting is forbidden, apparently, and so is using the dishwasher I just paid for. Even 3D printer hardware, once a bastion of ownership and right to repair ideals, is starting to get locked down. And that brings me to games. I've been on a retro computing kick lately, restoring my dad's first computer and some of the computers I grew up using. And all that old hardware is neat, but the thing that makes the hobby addicting is the software that runs on those things. Like, take Myst. My family played this game together for hours, solving all the puzzles. I have a lot of great memories attached to playing this game on my old Mac. And if I want, I can put the CD in an old Mac and play it again. I can even run it today in an emulator, like using Infinite Mac. I've been imaging all the games I bought as a kid and putting them on this Raspberry Pi. That way I can play them whenever and however I want. I can do that because I bought the games. And I still buy games today. But not all games are built the same. More and more companies are tying up games to idiotic DRM that requires an internet connection or periodic phoning home, and if that goes away, good luck playing anymore.
True.
Now, people who build things should...
Speaking of which, there's an example of this with Pirate Software as well. Pirate Software in his game Heartbound, and when he talked about this a few years ago, I saw it. People were cheering him on for being ingenious in the comment section. But here, let me see. Pirate Software Steam achievements. Here, this has 10 million views on his channel.
And if you look at this, we have 160 achievements for it, and all of them are very simple. The way that I did this is quite funny. I tried to find a way so that our game wouldn't get pirated because it'd be easy to pirate it. We knew that you could break Steam DRM very quickly. This is your save file. When you first start the game up, it actually checks what achievements you have, and it unlocks powers based on your achievements. This is actually the save file for the character. So you can't pirate it because you can never use the achievements. It made it unpiratable, which is deeply hilarious to me.
That's Pirate Software. That's Pirate Software attaching his game to Steam achievements for progression, so it won't be pirated. Instead of just making like a good game that people would want to pay for. This is what it like. This is a crutch. I'll say it. This is a crutch. Cheat Engine got something to say about this. Yeah, like it's a crutch. It's a crutch because his game can't stand on its own. You know? He feels the need to like force people to be like, I'm forcing you to buy my game instead of just making a game that people would want to buy. Right? Which will just make people want to pirate it more. Like, I'm sorry, if you've never met pirates, if you lock something in a chest, they're gonna want to open that chest. Like, if you have an open like hallway, they might be like, I don't want to walk down there. But if you put a door that's locked, blocking that hallway, they're gonna want to open it. Like, it's so funny. If you think you can win against piracy when the multiple billion dollar companies have lost, you're an absolute moron. Yeah. Someone did a review of his game and said it was pretty scuffed. Well, it didn't get an update for a year, right? Didn't he like push a very small patch to the game so it wouldn't be flagged as an inactive game on Steam? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of funny. But all you have to do is just like not be like a dick. Open presents. This is the first message I've ever seen Open Presents put in any chat, even in Hassan chat as well. What's up? They speak. Pirate Software has never heard of Empress. He knows it cracks every anti-piracy workaround. December 2023 to March 2025. But he has an update that was pushed like a few months ago. I'm sure the game's gonna come out eventually. Bro's been working on this game for like 5 years. Why do people call him Thor? Because he asked to be called Thor, I think. I don't know. What game is it? It's Heartbound. Is his middle name Fargo clearly? Okay. Yeah. There's no update from December 2023 to March 2025, but he just pushed a small update to be like, guys, I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm not inactive, please.
Get paid for their work. I'm not at all about pirating software, but if you click on a button that says buy now, or you go to a store and pick up a game in a box, you should be able to play it. I mean, is that not obvious? And some games do have online components, and yeah, do I expect like Bungie's multiplayer servers to stay up until the end of time? No. But do I expect for popular games, some enterprising community members would step up and build their own self-hosted replacements? Yeah, if it's a popular enough game. But some games nowadays aren't designed that way. They're designed to basically expire and be unplayable after just a couple years. Some people actually
This
care.
is a very good way to frame this issue, I will say. This comes from like Jeff being at least aware of, you know, tech issues and stuff. But he's framing his issue very well. Or he's saying like, I'm not like saying pirate all games or whatever. But like, you know, if I buy a game, you should be able to play it. Right, which is exactly what I said.
Are not only about playing games, but also preserving them as part of cultural or even individual history, just like I'm doing with all these old Mac games. I don't even care if they ship me their source code or anything, though companies like id Software go the extra mile and do that at least. I just care that the games are built in a way that I could still play it after the company stops caring about it. After all, I didn't click a button that said rent now. I paid $60 and clicked a button that said buy. Any game that turns into effectively a rental should be required to tell you it's not actually for sale. It's a subscription service with an expiration date. We have a tiny fighting chance to slow down this madness. There's a European Union initiative called Stop Killing Games, and I put a link in the description. If you care about gaming, preserving history, or just preserving the meaning of the word buy, I'd encourage you to go there and sign the form if you live in the EU.
And I still want to point out, and I want to give credit to Charlie, because Charlie did it when this was like not like cool, right? Once Charlie made it okay to like talk about this initiative and call out pirate software, like then everybody else is like, okay, we can do this now. Even though this initiative has been going on for like over a few years now. So I'll give credit to Charlie for being the first person to step up and be like, I care about this thing. I'm going to call this thing out and support this initiative because I care about it.
If you're in the UK, there's a separate form. I'll link to that one too. We're finally seeing a pullback from cloud everything, and it starts with rebels like us pushing self-hosting, consumer protections, and freedom. Will we be heard? Maybe 2025 will start the pendulum swinging the other direction. Until next time, I'm Jeff Geerling.
Thanks, Jeff. That was a good video. I like Jeff. But yeah. There's also this Power Software video, but I'm not gonna, I don't know if I want to watch it because like, well, maybe. We'll see.
As a game developer who
I'll peek.
worked as game engine and tools developer on Helldivers 2, I've always had a special interest in YouTube's
Oh wait,
gaming
he's like, he worked on Helldivers? Did I misunderstand him? It's actually kind of sick.
tools developer on Helldivers. As a game developer who worked as game engine and tools developer on Helldivers 2, I've always had a special interest in YouTube's gaming and game developer community. While learning C++ programming, I watched Cherno. Danny was my go-to for game design. And for math and physics, I just smashed my head into a wall. However, one I always avoid.
Man, I think it's always funny to see people who don't do their original content say what they used to do in the past. Like Sykkuno being a software developer, it's like super sick. And I hope people feel like that for me. Because that's right, I am a software developer as well. Thank you very much.
Avoided was pirate software. No, not the practice. I did that when I was a kid. I'm talking about the content creator pirate software.
They can eat my entire ass.
Also nicknamed
dev,
Thor.
yeah.
Some of you may know Thor as Guy, who explained very simple basic concept with serious voice and big words in MS Paint, making him seem like very smart person. And that, dear viewer, is how you kidnap children. Maybe you know him as Guy who allegedly cheats in puzzle game streams to seem more of an intellectual.
He's being exposed for cheating puzzle game playthroughs now. It's blowing up again.
You've possibly seen him blame,
We have that kind of a mistake again. I'm disbanding the party. I'm gonna go run with other people because you guys cannot do that again.
rage,
God damn it, guys.
and whine.
Just lost 4 hours of crafting materials. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Of course I'm going to be a little bit upset about that.
Against his supportive viewers for being terrible at a game after someone accidentally attacked an NPC called the Ocular, which then killed their entire team.
God damn it, guys. So one of you hold the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. Oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit. You have to be better than that. And we just lost all of those materials because you're not paying attention. This is basic shit. That is insane shit.
Yeah, how dare
This
you
is the
attack
last
the
straw for
ocular,
me.
you
This is the last straw.
stupid, dumb, moronic.
Or pull in the clip.
Was it
like,
him? Stop.
Dare you attack the ocular, you stupid, dumb, moronic.
For pulled in the clip. Link.
Oh wait, what's that? He was the guy who wrongly attacked the ocular? Making it his fault everyone died? Gee, I wonder how he's gonna apologize for being so toxic to his supportive viewer base for no reason whatsoever.
I'm not at fault there. I'm correct there for doing that.
He's so dumb, bro. He's so dumb, bro. He's so funny. All he has to do is say, "Oh, you know what? You know what? Maybe I got too angry there. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. Please ignore me. I hadn't got a lot of sleep yesterday. I popped off too early. I'm sorry." That's it. He was like, "Nope, not my fault. That was not my fault at all." Like, "Oh, I swear on everything, I'm gonna find the guy who pulled that ocular. I'm gonna find him. We're gonna kick him out the raid. That's unacceptable. You need to be better than that." It was me. You know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
100%. That is not on me. No.
Okay, actually getting everyone killed and wasting 4 hours of time was a good thing. Now don't you dare question it or you'll get banned.
This guy sounds like he takes criticism well. You sound like you want to talk to me about it in the unban request. You're just shit stirring. I'm just gonna get rid of you. Swear to God, I'm gonna go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit. You have to be better than that.
On Twitch, he's known as the kindest, most supportive, and knowledgeable game dev programmer. Even though he has threatened to sue an indie developer on false grounds, and his codebase would have made me fail my first year at university for my game development bachelor's.
Yeah, so I saw this as well. I don't code in whatever this is, but I assume these are all story flags. Like these are like flags that tell like if something happened or didn't happen in the game. And I feel like there's a better way to store that than like this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a better way to store that. I don't think so. I don't know though, because like it's Game Maker, so it's a bit funky, and Game Maker is a bit trash. Okay, well, like again, I don't know. I'm not gonna come at him. I just feel like if I had to do this for my game, I would jump off of a stair, you know, a singular stair, because I would hate my life. Because I can't imagine. You know what? I understand him not freaking updating his game in over a year, because having to maintain that, like. What if you have to change something, right? What if you want to add a sock hometown 1.5 and shift them all down? You have to go in there and change every single one of the things that are following this, right? That does not feel very ergonomical.
Supportive and knowledgeable game dev programmer. Even though he has threatened to sue an indie developer on false grounds, and his codebase would have made me fail my first year at university.
Let's see. Wait, okay. This is so weird. So he uses like switch statements in the files that points to a flag and check if the flag is one or what the flag is. So then decide what to do in this. Is this how, bro, just use Unity at this point, you know what I mean? Like, they're not even named. I'm sorry, they're not even named. It's global.storyline_array 333. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? It's not even named. Like, I couldn't, bro. It's giving self-taught coder. This is not good. But I'm sure he went to school for this. You know? He has the whole array memorized. Yeah, he has all 999 entries into this array memorized. right? And he does the exact same thing for the voice lines too. Global.voiceline, Talkie Road 19. I feel like there has to be a better way to do this, right? And maybe the Game Maker requires that, but if so, throw away Game Maker. Yeah, I couldn't do it. If this is what Game Maker requires, I couldn't do it, bro. I couldn't do it. 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 I would die. When my code gets just a little bit scuffed, I throw the entire thing away and I redo it. Now, you probably shouldn't do that, right? To a certain extent. But like, because it hurts my soul. It hurts my soul. I couldn't imagine dealing with a 900 length array for story flags. With like non-descriptive names. There has to be a better way. Maybe. I don't know. T-Squared DXD. Wait, T-Squared XD, thank you for the 2-month free subscription.
University for my game development bachelor's. And if you don't know him from any of that, then you might know him as a guy who worked at Blizzard.
I worked at Blizzard, so when I first started at Blizzard, I worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
I know, he rarely mentions it. I'm just kidding, he mentions it all the time.
Blizzard. For Blizzard, this is 100% your worst take ever. No, it's not. You know what I did before this? I worked at Blizzard Entertainment.
Now, having worked on
I'm pretty sure there are ways around using magic numbers in any language.
Helldivers 2 at Arrowhead Game Studios, I understand taking pride in your work. Hell, I opened this video sharing that pride, and every few months I'll rewatch my 5 seconds of delivering democracy in their April Fool's video. And now I'm a YouTuber and my entire life is an April Fool's video. Especially when my contract is making me do an ad read at the start of my video. Wait, no. Today's video sponsor Fume. Fume is a flavored air device designed to help you get rid of bad habits and replace them with better ones. Fume uses plant-based cores with only natural ingredients to give you flavors like peach blush, maple pepper, or my favorite, crisp mint. There is no stanky smoke, no vapor, no addictive nicotine,
Flavored
just
air? I assume it's like a try to get you off of vaping kind of thing. It is an anxiety pin. Oh, you're so right. It's an anxiety pin. This is Dean's anxiety pin. My favorite moment when he refused to take Nepotism criticism with grace. It's okay to admit and not pretend that you got no help because your dad is the head of the department. Yeah.
Naturally flavored air that gives you something to reach out for without the chemicals. I personally hadn't heard of Fume before they reached out to me, but I'm glad they did, because ever since I was a kid, I've had the bad habit of nail biting whenever I'm really stressed out. And with everything going on in the world right now, that's basically all the time. So after a few weeks of having used it, my nails have finally stopped looking like chip paint, because with its satisfying fidgety design, I have something else to fixate on. Now I just gotta buy a nail clipper. With over 500,000 customers, thousands of success stories, and their continuous investments in third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products, I take my Fume everywhere I go. And right now, if you order the Journey Pack using my code SoggyCereal, you'll get a free Fume topper. So if you've been thinking about changing your habits, this is a perfect first step. Go to tryfume.com/SoggyCereal or scan the QR code on screen to grab yours today. As you'll see with Thor, there's a pattern where the line between pride and hubris start threading real thin, especially when he's caught making a mistake, which I wouldn't have such a problem with if he just owned up to them, and if he wasn't so condescending whenever someone else makes one. But he doesn't.
I'm not at fault there. That is not on me.
And he is.
Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. A really stupid ass move. That's incredibly stupid ass move.
Nonetheless, I never quite felt like making a video on him because everything bad he did always seemed trivially obnoxious in itself, but after what he has done to an initiative I deeply care for, well, now those toxic instances form the pattern not just plaguing Thor, but one reminding me of everything I hated about the game development industry, which I wish to unravel. So let's start talking about
Stop killing games.
Stop killing games. Stop killing games.
Stop killing games.
Stop killing games.
For the past decade or so, game publishers
Never heard say I was wrong. Me neither.
taken it upon themselves to take the entire right of ownership of their games from the buyer's hands and keep it in their own hands with the use of licenses, making it so that if one day they now decide to pack up shop and go to the Bahamas, well, they can take away access from everyone who has ever bought their games. You can see this in the license agreements from scummy, greedy companies like Blizzard, saying Blizzard reserves the right to terminate this
like
agreement.
Blizzard, interesting, kind of ironic. That's the choice.
At any time, for any reason, or for no reason, with or without notice to you. EA states that if they decide to shut down a game or service, well, they'll tell you at least 30 days in advance, after which you can go fuck yourself, because after online service termination, they can guarantee their games will continue to function. With Ubisoft, this license confirms no title or ownership in the product. Ubisoft may terminate this agreement at any time for any reason. And Ubisoft abused their practice in 2024 when they took their servers offline for racing game The Crew. A game with a mere 12 million registered players who now, after buying it, all lost access because you could not play without a server connection, causing immense community backlash. So inspired by the train wreck caused by The Crew, or guess I should say car wreck, a passionate creator, Ross Scott, who runs a YouTube channel, Accursed Farm, started to stop killing.
A Pirates Dr. K video was insane to watch. Is there a Dr. K video that's not insane to watch? That's all I hear about Dr. K. All I hear about Dr. K videos is like, man, this person that people are hating on right now, totally freaking justified to do so. Because they, you know, did a crazy, I mean, we're talking crazy, you know? If it was amazing. Okay, is it worth watching? Is it worth watching? Maybe I'll watch it. Dr. K session with Pirate Software was so funny. Maybe we'll add it to the docket of like if we have no content left to watch. We still have a few things to get through, like the Pyro Cynical video and the Miskiff clip, but that shouldn't take that long, I say, before I know it's taking long.
Games initiative, with its current goal being to introduce European legislation that prevents publishers from leaving their games in an unplayable state at the end of their life cycle. All it asks is to just have publishers leave games in a reasonably functional and playable state before
Oh no, I missed 31313 followers. 31,313. Why did nobody tell me? It's fine.
Them down. And to even get this off the ground and in front of the eyes of European lawmakers, it needs at least 1 million signatures. Now, I care deeply for this. I signed the petition not only because I grew up my entire life playing video games, needing that escapism during a not-so-fun upbringing, but even if I didn't, I still believe in basic consumer rights. A publisher shouldn't have the ultimate decision to permanently take it out of existence just because it's not as profitable to the shareholders anymore. And I wish to believe most people share that ideology, including Pirate Software.
It's incredibly important to me that we keep.
I saw some things that I'm not like a complete fan of, but I genuinely just don't know enough. So I won't speak to his character.
Making games, and that the next generation has the tools to do so, so their medium doesn't die out. And it never will. And that's the whole intention of all of this.
Of course he does. He's such a good guy. Wait, he said what 5 seconds later?
This is shit. It's shit. Oh shit, no, this is actually really dumb. That's awful, dude. Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then.
But why? Thor not just criticizes, but bashes and demonizes Stop Killing Games.
As you can imagine, we've been less than thrilled that Thor here has become the dominant voice of the campaign.
And I wouldn't have such a problem with that if the majority wasn't straight up misinformation and there wasn't such a conflict of interest. See, the initiative wishes to see that any game that requires purchase or subscription fees and a server connection to remain playable after a company shuts down their server. This self-evidently includes live service games, which are games that continuously receive new content to keep higher player retention, multiplayer games, and amongst other categories, single-player games who now often, because companies hate us, require a constant or with intervals server connection as anti-piracy measure, which we call a DRM. Damn you, Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So when Thor started saying things like,
if those don't understand, the Stop Killing Games.
Where's this? Oh, is this the kit? Yeah, we'll get to this later.
Initiatives is basically we don't want single player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change.
Or
it is vague. They need to be specific that they're talking about single player games that do not need a server to support them.
Misrepresenting to his millions of viewers that the initiative's language was too vague, that actually they're only referring to single-player games with online DRM, which they aren't. That with this vague language, it would ruin live service games.
We'd have to sunset live service games as a single-player experience. The idea that suddenly you need to make every single live service game playable single-player offline? No, dude.
Correct. No.
Even though Stop Killing Games founder Ross Scott disproved that claim, Pirate Software going as far as saying what the initiative is asking is so fucking stupid and outrageous, it made him angry like a little tiny toddler.
That video made me actually mad, like real mad, not like fake memes mad, like actually mad. Like I'm actually mad.
To the point he said he wasn't just not gonna back it, he was actively going to boycott this consumer right movement.
Not only do I not want to back this,
that's my main problem with Pirate Software. You can, if you want to misunderstand and misrepresent what they're saying, that's one thing. But to be like, go as far as like, I'm going to try to torpedo this initiative because I misunderstand it is like the main, is like the real issue. How do you boycott a social movement? How he did. He basically is like, well, he's not actually going to like boycott it. He's just saying, I don't want my audience to support this. I want to torpedo it. I want it to fail. Right? That's what he's saying. In no uncertain terms. Right? He wants it to fail.
I'm going to actively tell people not to.
And so people wondered why he'd do that. I mean, even Ross was interested in having a conversation about it and left a comment on Pirate Software's video to correct the misinformation he was spreading. His comment got deleted and the request for a conversation denied.
I reached out to him.
Would you consider reaching out and talking to Ross about it? No. And the reason why is because I found his entire statement over the YouTube incredibly disingenuous. It's used car salesman garbage.
Yes, Thor, Ross Scott, the average used car salesman who spends months to fight for consumer rights for free. I've seen him
like, even if that's the case, you can talk to him and address the used car salesman garbage or whatever. Like, you can, there's no reason not to have that conversation. Right? Because it's also not like Ross was like, hey, Pirate Software, can I have your input on this? And then you gave your input and he was like, nah, how dare you, or whatever. Like, you unprompted inserted yourself into the situation to bash it. And then Ross was like, hey, let's clear this up. He's like, no, I don't like you. Like, didn't all this happen like last year? Yes. This initially happened last year. It came back up because Ross made a video saying that like the last chance for the initiative is to get 1 million signatures by a certain day. And then now it's all coming back up. Okay, well, like, why did Pirate Software tarnish this initiative? Right? And then now we've arrived back here again.
Say some dumb, pretentious shit, but knowing the initiative doesn't even take donations, its founder being on YouTube even before it was profitable and has been advocating against killing games for at least 6 years, makes this one of the dumbest. See, but Thor works as a strategy director at a publishing company called Off-Brand Games, and a publisher's goal is usually not to create or develop a product, but to make sure sales are as high as possible and that the product is profitable.
Bro, Ludwig is not having a good month, I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Bro he didn't even do anything in this case. Except for associating with somebody who's not great. Which, maybe this should be a lesson a little bit. Just who Ludwig just decides to associate with. Didn't it disband? No. Off-Brand Productions disbanded. Off-Brand Games still exists. It was all downhill after him stealing your take deserved. True. Was like him doing things is what got him? Yeah. And I feel like his response is so... Hey, Ludwig's response? I love picking up bad dudes like candy on a Halloween. Or candy on Halloween, man. Listen. This is what I said earlier. This is what happens when you've built your entire career around like staying out of, drama or being apolitical or brand friendly. And like not like standing for anything. Cause you like when you surround yourself by people who also don't stand for anything, they'll inevitably mess up. And then when they mess up, it then comes back on you because you didn't, hold them accountable. Right? Like, he didn't address like Pirate Software being the I think also part of it came from like a little bit of a cloud chasing initiative, right? Like, Pirate Software, if we're being real, Pirate Software has absolutely no experience being a director of strategy at a game publishing company. You know what I mean? Like, there's no credential he has except for like being a popular game development streamer. Like, he's one of many people who worked for a game development and is now an indie dev. Like, he doesn't know much about like the publishing side of it. He got to that position because of his success in streaming, and Ludwig did a little bit of a clout chasing move, right? To be like, oh, because he has such a large audience, it will be good for my company to get name recognition out there by teaming up with one of the, if not the most popular game development streamer out there. But because, you know, Pirate Software wasn't great, it came back to like bite Ludwig in the butt in this instance. And it's kind of like how a lot of Ludwig's decision making goes. You know?
Now, at the time the initiative launched, well, Rivals of Aether 2 was in development with Off-Brand Games as its publisher. And Rivals of Aether is a live service game, so when Thor said this...
If we don't like the idea of live service games as a whole, I get it would impact every live service game that exists.
Well, people noticed he was acutely aware of the possible hurdles a game he's helping publish might face if regulation laws were introduced. So trying to entirely twist the initiative's message...
It is vague.
Can't kill it...
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
And completely discredit Ross...
It's used car salesman garbage.
Could be seen as
I don't really want to say Ludwig cannot vibe check. It's just Ludwig is so... He's such, like, he has mogul brain, if I'll say it like that. Ludwig has mogul brain. He doesn't view things about, you know, like morals or, you know, values. It's like, what decision can he make to grow his brand, right? And produce content, essentially. And that works a lot of the time, and it allowed him to become the successful streamer that he is. But, you know, like a company who like keeps dumping lead into the waterways, eventually people are going to find out, and then people are going to criticize you for doing that. Even if it's like a mogul move for you to keep dumping lead into the waterways. You know? That's kind of the issue. And so for the Pirate Software thing, he didn't vibe check Pirate Software because it was a good business decision to bring Pirate Software onto his new game company. Right? And again, I believe Pirate Software and Ludwig when they say that Pirate Software didn't have like a direct hand in the way the company operates. Right? He was a figurehead. Like a capitalist every single day, Shank. He was a figurehead at the publishing studio because he had a large audience to get to act as marketing to use as a way to bring people to the game. Did he leave? No, he's still there, but he's like behind the scene. There's like a whole thing on Twitter about this, right? He claimed that he wasn't directly involved at Off-Brand Games, and he's getting paid a minimum wage salary. And it's just there for like consulting advice, essentially. You know? Not even a good business decision. It was a marketing PR stunt. Yeah, it is a marketing PR stunt, right? It's, oh, you guys know Pirate Software? You guys know Pirate Software, right? He's very popular and very famous. He's a very famous game developer person. You know him, right? Well, now we're teaming up to make games together. That's what his idea was 2 years ago. And the problem is when you tie yourself to the hip of somebody like Pirate Software, when he inevitably messes up, you gotta take the heat with it. You know? And so he took the positive association with somebody who's like a very, very, very large gaming developer streamer, and now he's getting the negative association. That's it. A lot of his friends have obvious bad vibes. To be fair, a lot of people have obvious bad vibes in general in the streaming landscape. Right? It's about who you keep around you and who you don't keep around you.
Beneficial for him.
I am just trying to get this initiative passed. If that means I have to get insulted all along the way, okay.
This shit sucks. Eat my entire ass.
I'd recommend watching Ross's video if you want more details on just how far Pirate Software went to boycott this entire thing. But what makes me angry most of all is firstly how after all this came to...
Also, apparently somebody's, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, said that there was like a HR had a bad take on rent control. as well that we were gonna look at. I'm just like, how can you have a bad take on rent control unless you like side with the landlords? Was like the Lemonade Stand podcast and H-Rock siding with the landlords?
Light, he still quadrupled down on most of what he said, even though he
rent
was
control would just elevate rent prices. That's kind of the opposite of what rent control does. You know? Like it's in the name. They call it a freeze. I assume his take that for these specific units that are rent frozen, those rents are low. But everybody, it's like normal capitalist stuff. Like every other like rent unit will see that like rents might freeze or whatever for whatever reason for units in their area. So they'll just preemptively raise the rents. Those takes that our supply goes down and rent freezes. The supply of housing, the buildings are already made. They're already built. Like what does he think that that's what he says? But does he think that people will stop renting to people? Let people take off the market? Well, just force them not to do that with regulation. Like that's what the point of regulation. It's not just, freeze the rents and then you're done. Right? That's where you then regulate on top of that. It's like the first step to like lowering rent or capping the rents at a certain number. And then you go into like not allowing them to like sit on empty units. It's kind of like neolibs raising the minimum wage will lead to completely offset higher prices for fast food burgers when that isn't the case empirically. Yeah. And if it is, you regulate that. That's the point of regulation. Right? The answer is not to, because the response to that is just to deregulate everything. Oh, you can't do any good stuff ever at all because then the capitalists will just not do the free market alternative. Oh, you can't raise the minimum wage because then the capitalists will just stop hiring new people. Like, number one, no, they won't. They want money. They won't just stop hiring people, right? They'll claim that they will. It's like a capital flight. About how people were saying, oh, well, you can't tax companies more because then they'll just leave New York or they'll just leave California to go to like Texas or whatever. Like, number one, no, they won't. They won't. There's no evidence that's the case. They threaten to do so all the time, right? But they won't leave New York. That's where their market is. They'll suck it up and they'll pay it. And if they do leave, guess what? Regulation, exit tax. You tax them for leaving. You make it more expensive for them to leave, and you force them to stay because you have that power. You're the freaking government. Like, is the answer just not to do anything? What is his answer then? I'm curious. We'll put this on the docket as well, right? But I'm curious as to what his answer is. In that case, do you just do nothing? Every capitalist alive would have slavery if they can get away with it, and a lot do because of prison labor. Yeah. Who's this again? We'll get to that in a second. He said rezone and build affordable housing. Oh, so he is an abundance guy. There's not like there's a lack of housing, right? That's not like, first of all, there is like a lack of housing, if you will, but that's not an issue, right? That's not the main issue. Because the idea of like, just build more affordable housing is just, well, yeah, there should be super overpriced units where you pay $5,000 for a shoebox, but there should also be some units where you can, not pay $5,000 for a shoebox. Like, no, you should not pay $5,000 for a shoebox at all, anywhere. How's that a crazy take? And What makes you think that building more affordable housing, how will you keep them affordable? Like genuinely, how will you keep that affordable? People are already charging $5,000 for a shoebox in New York. How will you enforce that affordability? Maybe through a freeze or a cap on the rents? And now we're back to square one. He says competition keeps the rates low. That's not true. It's not true. Capitalism is a lie. It's false. It's literally not true. There are businesses that sell software to landlords to artificially inflate rent everywhere. Literally everywhere. There's software that exists specifically to do collusion between landlords to keep the rent raising. There is no competition. They are literally colluding. It is literally not true. It's not. Yesterday in Boston, they busted a literal crack house and a Zillow price was over $1 million for a dilapidated crack house. That doesn't sound surprising. Yo, we'll get to that in a second. But like, come on, bro. Liberals are so funny. Competition just does not exist. It doesn't exist. And what's stopping them from building more affordable housing and then more transplants come in, gentrifying New York City and pushing out the people who can't afford to live there with more housing? Right? It's like building more lanes. You know, you can't build more lanes out of traffic. Because when you build more lanes, people are going to be like, oh, there's a new lane. And then more people are going to start using the highway and traffic's never going to be fixed. You're doing that, but for housing. You're just like, oh, we just need to keep building more housing. Just keep building more housing. We just need to keep building more affordable housing. And then people are going to see more housing and they're going to flock to New York. And it's going to be the same issue. You need regulation. Capitalism has proven that it's unable to regulate itself. It has proven this. There is zero evidence that capitalism has effectively regulated itself, ever. None. None. It always leads to corporate consolidation. At every instant. It leads to corporate collusion and corporate consolidation. At every instance, historically. Oh, jeez, freaking Louise, bro.
Disproven multiple times, then started banning and blocking anyone even slightly critiquing him. But also how he tried to guise it as being a selfless hero.
Because I don't want, and this is the real one, I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game stay online forever. I don't want that.
Like, I'm sorry. Are there like genuinely like? I guess there are a few like indie live service games, but like. That's like, we're talking about like 1 or even less than 1% of the entire industry. Right? He's also talking about like his own, you know, the game that he's a part of or whatever. But like, there's not a lot of games. Like, 1, it's not what the initiative is asking for. But 2, even if it was, that's like not a lot of games. Most games are not like indie live service games. Most indie games are single player. Right? Or multiplayer, but not live service. And if you want to be an indie developer and you make a live service game that you have to maintain for a certain amount of time, first of all, most indie studios don't do that because that would be insane to do with not like the $1 million backing. You know? But 2, you gotta hold that. I'm sorry. You're building a game that people are purchasing, even as an indie developer. Like, so yeah, you also have to produce a product that people can use after you stop supporting it. I think that's more important than the big companies doing it. Because the big companies actually have the money to be supporting games like for at least a couple of years. Right? If you're supporting an indie developer and you're buying an indie game, the chances of you, you know, getting a bundle of code that doesn't work anymore is a lot higher. than a AAA developer.
Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that
We
direction.
just doesn't want indie developers experiencing legal trouble. Which is very ironic coming from the guy who, unbeknownst to most, threatened to sue a solo indie developer.
Hey, Kronos, we have to file a legal complaint against that dude earlier. We're going to take you to court. You're going to...
Also, you know how like people, like, this is kind of funny for people saying how bad Pirate Software is for doing this, which is correct. It's true. Pirate Software is bad for doing this, but you know who also is trying to sue just a smaller creator or person in the industry, and use their millions of dollars to dick swing around? I don't know. It may be interesting.
To lose.
Maybe I should talk about that for a second. As many of you may know, a few months ago, a group of content creators formed a guild called OnlyFangs in World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore, a game where if you die on a character, you lose that character permanently. Pirate Software was part of this guild, playing as a mage. Now, not only was he known for pretentiously mocking new players and bullying other mages in the guild, going as far as to say watching them play made him physically sick because obviously he's not like the other stinky noobs. He is best player out there, cause...
You know what I did before this? I worked at Blizzard Entertainment.
Okay, well at one point, when he and his teammates were streaming and got themselves in a dangerous situation, most of the team tried helping each other survive, while Thor, the guy constantly boasting his hitherto undreamt of skills, ran away and said there was nothing he could do.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking?
This
Look
is
at my mana.
savage, but come on, man.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
Now, I'm not nearly unemployed enough to care about any of that. It's what happened afterwards that started showing his true character. He was caught lying about his resources, actively wasting them while running away, so he could then claim that there was nothing he could do. And then when confronted, even though there was video proof, still lied about it, blamed everyone but himself, became extremely hostile towards anyone critiquing him.
Because they're goddamn insane. Because this guild has turned into a content guild built on hate. Because they're freaking monsters, dude.
Again,
They're
banning and blocking
monsters
people
is
left
so funny, bro.
Right, even in debates with team members, he would make everyone respectfully listen to his side thoroughly. But then from the moment other members wanted to share their perspective, left the call like a little child.
Yell over another person like you were doing?
Can I speak?
Nah, I'm good.
You...
See ya.
He eventually got kicked out of the Content Creator Guild, not because he made a mistake, no one really cared about that, but because just as with Stop Killing Games, he went in acting as a person with the most skill and authority, ended up shitting the bed, then kept lying to try save grace, and when exposed, acted like a fragile ego toddler getting reprimanded for sticking crayons up his nose, then angrily insisted the adults around him put them there. Anyways, getting to the lawsuit thread, at the time, an indie developer was working on a simple parody game ridiculing embarrassing streamer moments, such as a Pokimane for streamer cookies controversy, or XQC for, being XQC. And uploaded a recording of his game on Reddit, including Pirate Software as a cockroach.
As much as you're angry right now, of course I win.
Which, in the World of Warcraft community, refers to players desperately scurrying away instead of helping their team whenever danger is around. Now, up until that point, no streamer had made any issue of this
Not even joking. True.
game existing. And it definitely wasn't going to be the big supporter of indie game developers who desperately fought the evil consumer rights initiative Stop Killing Games to prevent indies from imaginary legal repercussions, right? He falsely DMCA'd the game, which is similar to copyright striking on YouTube, meaning it got taken off of the Steam Game Store. Why, you ask? Well, Thor would likely give an elaborate explanation about how using his voice from stream clips infringes on his copyright.
And said that he was using my voice in a video game, showed a bunch of videos of it, and then put that game up on Steam. Cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission.
And he'd probably be correct. Problem being that those voice lines weren't in the published game. The developer just screen recorded on his own PC as a joke. So the developer reached out to Thor clarifying this and then asking if he could drop the false DMCA on his game. So obviously Thor did the most kind-hearted and sensible thing.
We're going to take you to court. You're going to lose.
Jesus Christ. This legal abuse ended up pissing off an actual lawyer who then
he
took the
sounds
case
so
to
much
fight
like Ethan,
pirates.
bro. He sounds so much like Ethan, bro. He sounds so much like Ethan.
Software's false claim free of charge. Which, there's an entire Substack with more details, I'll put it in the description if you're interested. But the situation basically ended as we're now used to, with Thor lying, doubling down, deflecting, and blocking any criticism until he finally dropped the DMCA. He lied about his EVE Online skills to make himself look better, deleting any comments debunking them. He lied about TV show Mr. Robot to go viral, again, deleting the comments questioning his claims. He abuses his huge audience to match report players he dislikes.
He began assaulting lobby caravans and threatening to get solo players banned who lashed out at him when he served their caravans with 40 players.
Oh, hey, wait, this guy's gonna get banned from the video game. I'm gonna report the shit out of this guy.
Tech, there's allegations with proof. He even fakes his voice to sound deeper.
It's our first time out here at Denver Comic Con, and there's so many people, and they love the game. So.
This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then.
He keeps
listen, you got second puberty. I mean, he got second puberty, so this is actually it's completely normal and accurate for people to go through a second puberty, to their voice get lower. Yeah, so I just don't think you understand the fact that real men among us get second puberty.
Trying to make himself look better. What are you, the Elon Musk of Twitch? Why does he think he can keep doing this? Why does he get to enforce his elitist thoughts as undisputed facts throughout the online game dev community?
I worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
Getting called the Elon Musk of Twitch is kind of crazy.
Yes, we know, but that doesn't give you the right to...
I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment.
I said we know. Although you never really were a game developer there, were you? See, he got into Blizzard through nepotism because his dad had an important role there.
My dad is the WoW guy from South Park. He was the cinematic director for Blizzard for 23 years.
And half his time there was spent as QA or test engineer, meaning he wasn't a game dev. No, he tested what the game developers made. And then the rest of his career there focused on cybersecurity. Again, not game development. They are two entirely different ways of working.
And that's totally correct. I'm sorry. That cannot be the best way to do this. I don't believe it. I don't believe the best way to handle story flags is to create a giant array inside of a function from 0 to 1,000. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't know how Game Maker works, but there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay. Also, it just doesn't make sense. So his first for loop is just zeroing the array out. It goes from, it's one for loop to go from the 0th index of the array to the 1,000th index of the array, if you will, or 999, right? And it iterates through the entire thing, setting each value to 0. There has to be a better way to do that, right? Can't you just create a new array, a new empty array? Do you have to go through the entire array, setting each value to 0? Is that necessary? I don't think that's right. I genuinely don't think that's right. I feel like I'm going crazy. Why can't you just loop? No, he is looping. That's the issue. He's literally, okay, here. I'm going to describe what he's doing in Python. Right? Here, language, Python. He's doing this. He has a function, define, story. He has a function. And in this function, he's starts with the for loop to be you see, array. Take these a list. We'll say array equals this. Jeez, can I turn this freaking off, please? There. He has an empty array. Wait. So he sets the array to 0, I guess. And then he goes for I in range 1,000. Array I equals 0, I guess. And then he goes through and he does array 0 equals 0. Array 1 equals 0. Array. Why is he doing this? I don't think that's correct. This doesn't feel right to me. This doesn't feel right to me. So he has an empty array. He does like array equals 0, you know? And then he iterates through the entire array to then zero out the entire array. And then he goes through individually for every single index in the array, setting the flag to 0 again. I don't think that's correct. GameMaker has a data structure called a DS map that functions similarly to a dictionary in other languages. Yeah, that would be way better if you were to ask me, right? Like, oh, here, give me a second. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You literally just allocate an array with 0, just use C allocate. Like, every language has a way you can allocate an array with, like, just empty array, right? Like, if you initialize an array with a certain size, the array is, I guess, not C. I guess that's true. C doesn't do that. But, like, either way, right? Either way, this is the same thing. He's doing the same thing here and here, right? Iterating through the entire array like this, and then doing this is the same thing. Essentially. He doesn't need to loop and hardcode of the array. Exactly. I don't understand why he's doing both. It's a 0 in C because it just gives you a block of memory. This is true. This is correct. I do remember my class in C. But you don't need to do both, right? This would be a better way of doing it than whatever this is. Right? Which I assume he's doing it like this here to like put descriptions next to it so he can easily reference it. But if that's the case, then why not just use like a map or like a dictionary and give labels to each of the values?
Exit dose just
We're just calling story flag 997? Yes. I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't sound right to me. It doesn't. Here, just watch this.
And see that because for someone constantly critiquing others, his code, while potentially good in other roles, is fucking terrible for game development. That's probably the main reason his Kickstarter game is now so delayed. People are now asking for refunds. And I'm not saying that any of those jobs are less important than that of a game dev. I have friends in cybersecurity and I would not know how to do their job. And QA is crucial and often sadly looked down.
You know, home, bedroom, light switch, food too. Yeah. It's just a simple, like a struct. I know structs do exist in freaking C, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if that's C or C++. Like, it's just, I don't know. They do? Yeah. Both? Thank you. Like, it doesn't sound right to me. And type devs? Yeah. Open press, thank you for the 100 gifted. Yo. I hope you're enjoying me laughing at Pirate Software's bad code. Kara, I want to look at some more of his code. No, this isn't real. This isn't real. This is a meme, right? You're memeing. You're memeing. This is a meme. This is a meme. This is a meme. Okay. That's a meme. Okay. I wanted to be sure because I didn't want to put it past him, but like, that's so funny. That's so funny. That has his own oiler. Well, we share the oiler in this community. It's socialism. But thank you for the 100 gifted. What is that? Are we at like 100 is crazy. Also, Exit, thank you for the 10 months. And Palmy, thank you for the 6 months. But Opers, thank you for the 100 gifted. Also, Hype Train is incoming, chat. So if you want to bit some bits or give some gifts or sub some subs, I would appreciate that. Here. Wait, this is exactly what I've already said this. I said it earlier. I said he can face a maximum of 20 years.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Yeah, let's continue.
Upon, because frankly, a lot of people in the game dev industry are elitist, which is why I made this video, because I hate the elitist rhetoric.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Splexus, thank you for the 5-month subscription. And Lyra Cows, thank you for the 17-month subscription.
I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live when I
We're at a level 11 hype train.
Cats just subscribed.
Almost level 12. 99% to level 12.
Thor spews. It brings me back to my sweat are now asking for game development, critiquing others his code while potentially good in other roles. And I focused on cybersecurity again, not game development. They are two entirely different ways of working, and I can see that because for someone constantly critiquing others his code while potentially good in other.
Tell Omega, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. And Noob Zor 2 hands, thank you for the 4-month resubscription. Hey, we hit level 12.
No obsor _2 hands just subscribed.
Much appreciated.
Of course, the Oilers start dropping
Other
in here.
role. I can see that because
committed to a recurring sub.
LOL, I'm sorry to hear that, chatter. But I appreciate it regardless.
Someone constantly critiquing others his code while potentially good in other roles is fucking terrible for game development. That's probably the main reason his Kickstarter game is now so delayed. People are now asking for refunds. And I'm not saying that any of those jobs are less important than that of a game dev. I have friends in cybersecurity and I would not know how to do their job. And QA is crucial and often sadly looked down upon because frankly, a lot of people in the game dev industry are elitist. Which is why I made this video, because I hate the elitist rhetoric Thor spews. It brings me back to my time studying.
Yo.
Every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist. Okay? I live when I believe.
He's not that he acquitted. He's not acquitted. He's still found guilty on 2 charges technically. So he wasn't acquitted, but yeah, he's just not guilty on 3 charges, the big ones. He's acquitted on the trafficking charges. Before thank you for the gifted sub. Freckles, thank you for the gifted sub. Month, thank you for the 3-month resubscription. Tito Friday, thank you for the gifted sub. Would appreciate it. It's a slap on the wrist. Yeah, at maximum sentence you can get 20 years, 10 for each charge, but I don't know.
Studying for my game dev bachelor's in university, where so many students would act kind, but then use bragging, lies, or insults to fabricate authority over you and make everyone around them feel inferior. Third years would degrade first years. Even teachers would support the idea of looking down on students studying in IT fields outside of game development. And I fucking hated it. It made me develop imposter syndrome. So I couldn't stand seeing a popular streamer normalize this behavior because it shouldn't be. It's already so common that my recruiter at Arrowhead Game Studios told me he screened me for it, because if they don't, they'll often recruit ego trippers like that, incapable of dealing with criticism, who are unable to function in a team setting so often that they gave them the nickname Brilliant Dicks. Because they act brilliant, but really they're just dicks.
That's awful, dude. No, eat my entire ass.
Just know that if you were
that's
like
Pirate's entire thing. And I hate it so much. His pompous, pretentious attitude. Because as Sagi Serial saying, if you've worked in industry, right, or you've been around, like even in college, you've been around these people in game development. You know, not game development, sorry. In software development in general. Because I didn't do game development. Where's coworkers? Yeah. Here's Vosh 5 somehow. Vosh is also gives a pretentious attitude for sure.
On the receiving end of such individuals and ended up feeling inferior because of it, try to ignore them and focus on proving them wrong. I didn't know jack shit about game development or programming at the start of my bachelor's, yet at the end, I ended up completing challenges that they couldn't, because instead of learning from the people around them, they were too busy sniffing their own farts. Can I confidently say that Thor is a confirmed narcissist? No, because I don't have a psychology degree to back it up. What I can say, however, is that while Thor might believe the delusion that he's some uniquely gifted genius deserving to look down on everyone around him, well, for me, he's just another brilliant dick.
I can see how easy it is to...
Like, I want to call out as well, right? That having bad code is not illegal. You know? Having bad code is not illegal. It's not. You can have bad code. I write bad code as well. It's like writing poor code while like pretending like you're the smartest person in the room.
To wish _the _dragon.
You know, I wouldn't have a problem with the code that he writes if he was aware that, like, you know, I can learn. I can be, this can be better. Right? And he was on a journey to growing. but he's not on a journey to growing. He pretends like he already knows it all, that he's above other people. It's kind of hard to do that when like you kind of suck. This is a good video. I learned recently the code for Undertale was horrendous. You write bad code, canceled. Yeah. I think almost all code is bad. Best code is no code. Doesn't need to be good to work is a thing. I think it's a sliding scale. Also, Maggie Pie, thank you for the gifted sub. There's a sliding scale. There is workable code, and then there's code that is like going to school is supposed to teach you about like this is how you get your code functioning, and this is the way to be best practice, right? I'm not saying you have to go to school, but that's what it's supposed to teach you about like when to use a switch statement versus when to use an if statement, and how many if statements is too many if statements, and how to refactor your code, how to use functions, where to use functions, where to use classes, and things of that nature, right? And so there is code that can be better, and code that's not like great, but yeah, if it works, then it works to a certain extent.
To manipulate people.
What's the final
He's just
part?
another brilliant dick.
I can see how easy it is to manipulate people emotionally to gain money on the internet.
Yeah,
I don't ever even want to get near that.
Stop. No, well, I should dock it for later, maybe. So I am curious about his whole take on that. But I do want to see. That's the pirate software stuff. I do want to see the pyrocynical video that apparently mentions me in it. So let's see what this is about.
Going after quite a lot of YouTubers right now, and it's even reached the point where Hassan has basically tried to weigh in.
It's like having a...
Wait.
There have been some updates on the new H3H3 lawsuit. If you remember, he's going after quite a lot of YouTubers right now, and it's even reached the point where Hassan has basically tried to weigh in.
It's like having a mentally ill stalker who has an unlimited amount of money and power.
And also, we have a new merch restock. We've got caps, tees, hoodies, all available in the link down in the description. Dude, look at that print. Oh my God, I would buy that. I would buy that so bad, guys. You have no idea. Now, these lawsuits really have been the gift that keeps on giving.
This isn't XQC, but I can see how you got confused.
I would like to personally thank Ethan Klein because all of these crash outs and lawsuits being handed out, it has helped me keep the lights on and making videos talking about it. Now, there has been some more information coming mostly from Ethan's Instagram story. There's been another threat against a creator for infringing on Ethan's copyrighted material. If you don't remember, because this happened last week, so in like online news standards, it basically happened 5 years ago, Ethan dropped a content nuke on Hassan Piker, which is kind of like this, it's kind of like a content cop, but instead of doing like skits or creative things, you're just sat behind a computer. This is the part of the video where people are going to say, oh, I missed the old H3. He sold out. Bring back H3 Ball Rider.
Play as the heroic Gila Klein as she mounts Ethan's voluptuous fupa and controls his sweat to victory.
But before Ethan released this content nuke on Hassan, he knew that Hassan's, orbiters and stuff would end up reacting to it and watching it on stream. So what he did is, in the most petty move imaginable, he copyright trademarked the video. So if you reacted to it, you were basically infringing on his copyrighted material. And obviously the entire point of that was to show that there's a lot of people that don't like Ethan and they'll just watch a video and they'll do no reactions, or if they do, it's basically just to spite Ethan to take views away from him. I mean, Ethan even said in the video the entire point wasn't to go after anyone that was reacting to content, because that would basically get him excommunicado from the entire YouTube community in a heartbeat. No, instead he basically went after a few smaller creators. This was Frogans, Denims, and Caseytron. All of these people reacted to the Hassan content nuke. But the lawsuits do not end there, because it seems Ethan is actually trying to rope someone else into this series of lawsuits. The next person is Sean DeBlack, who's a content creator that has around
I love how we... Oh, okay.
31,000 followers. So Sean, like most...
Hey! We made it, chat! We made it! My thumbnails made it! Why do you say Shauna Black like it's a slut? A slut? Oh, you mean a slur? Everybody does. Hey, oh, I forgot. We still have to do the tier list about how different people say my name. How racistly people say my name. Add into the tier list, we do. Y'all gotta keep track of this. Keep track of this. Of who's saying my name and how they say it. That's so funny.
De Black, who's a content creator that has around 31,000 followers. So Sean, like most people, he does reaction content, gaming, and also video essays that are kind of more on the political side. He also, like pretty much 90% of English-speaking people on this platform, posts drama slop content. He actually had his break from making political content, I think on like TikTok in the early 2020s, but he's now transitioned.
Bro, Pyro all up on my dick. Chill out. We don't need a biography. we don't need a biography on me. Chill. Okay. All right. Relax. Nah, I'm joking. Listen, I didn't. To be fair, he did his research. I will give him credit. He did his research. He did his research. He found out that I started on TikTok doing political content in 2020. That is correct. He's right. Did he call you drama slop? He says I do drama slop, which I will say is fair. I get a little bit into the slop. I do wade into the slop a little bit. I'll give him that. I have no beef with the video so far. I don't think it's inaccurate or unfair to me. Right? I think it's fair characterization.
From making political content, I think on like TikTok in the early 2020s, but he's now transitioned, not the trans that you're thinking of, rent-free, to making longer form video essays. Because again, TikTok is just not sustainable for growth. It is. True. I mean, the same way that YouTube Shorts are. And again, like some of the biggest YouTubers and some of the biggest TikTokers, they're just making short form content. You know, they got 7 million followers. And without ads and sponsors, they're probably making around $7 a month. Now, on Ethan Klein's Instagram story, he complained that, you know, he was getting a lot of claims that he was misogynistic because he was only targeting women in the lawsuit. And then decided to add Sean to the list of people being sued for gender equality. What's crazy though as well is Sean basically had like a prophecy that these lawsuits would go through in the first place. Not the one on him obviously, but he actually predicted that denims would get sued 4 months before it actually happened.
To do that. And it'd be a shame if somebody was, well.
Oh, is he gonna claim he's gonna sue? Is he implying he's gonna sue denims for violating his Oh, please. Sure. Okay.
And this floated in the air for a bit. Sean made a reaction.
I mean, this doesn't make me look bad at all. I'm gonna be real. This makes me seem like pretty good.
Video, not much else came of it. That was until Ethan continued to post about the lawsuit on his Instagram story. Then Ethan put ahead a really bizarre offer that if the H3H3 Snark subreddit and also Taylor Lorenz and Kat Tarnbarge apologized for calling him a misogynist, he will consider dropping the lawsuit against Sean. Not that he will drop it, but he'll consider it. Now, unsurprisingly, the two reporters and the Snark subreddit didn't actually take back their accusations against Ethan. He followed this up with another story post. Because Snark and the two disgraced journalists are unwilling to swallow their pride, it looks like the lawsuit against Sean will be moving forward. So in an act of unimaginable grace, I am prepared to make one final offer. If Hassan donates $25,000 to each of their GoFundMes, I will tear up the Sean de Black complaint. Now, if you read between the lines, well, you don't have to read between the lines. It's really obvious. Ethan is trying to indirectly hurt Hassan by basically targeting people that would be considered by people that don't like Hassan as his orbiters. The thing is, Hassan has a huge following and a very rich family, so you can't really hurt him directly. So the best way to do it would be to go for, I guess, the underlings. Now, I've even seen some people on Twitter claim this to be like extortion, which does include threats of pressing legal charges to get money from someone. If Hassan wanted to sue Ethan, which he won't and he never will, which I'll get into in a bit, he might have a case against him. This did actually get a reaction out of Hassan, but unsurprisingly, I don't think he got the $25,000 out of him.
I thought this was all about copyright litigation. What do you mean? So he's just dangling litigation against people?
I will focus on the rich family thing because, like, I mean, Hassan, he's rich himself, you know. So I'm not gonna. I think this is so far it's okay. It's fine. You know.
People because other people have hurt his feelings by
I
correctly
want to see what his the analysis actually is.
calling him a misogynist. How is this just legal extortion? This is like extortion through litigation.
But this whole saga evolved once again because Ethan made another post on his Instagram story saying that he was joking and the lawsuit against Sean will be moving forward. He says that if he thought he had a good enough case to win against Sean, that his lawyers would have pursued it from the beginning. Although apparently he was actually really close to making the cut. Ethan also taxed his comments about not knowing that Sean was black. You know, it's not like it's in his name or anything like that. He says this because when he announced the lawsuit against Sean, a lot of people just basically accused him of being racist. That being for suing a black guy after getting accused of misogyny for, you know, suing 3 women. Now, I'll be honest, as a white person, I can definitely speak on this topic, but I don't really think what Ethan was doing there was racist. What he has done, though, which is really stupid, he's basically admitted to not really knowing who Sean was. He didn't, like, do a Google search of the guy to see his face. Probably hasn't watched any of his content beforehand. There's been no background check. He's basically admitted, yeah, this guy saw my videos. I'm going to sue him now. And Ethan definitely has seen Sean.
And this is what I said, chat. Like, I literally said this a few days ago. You know what I mean? Like, that I said specifically that that line was not play well in the normie spaces. Like, normies are going to see that and they're going to be like, what do you mean you don't know who this guy is? You're trying to sue him. You know? They're like, it's kind of weird to be like, I want to sue this person, but also I have no idea who he is. Like, even if he's joking, which he's joking. He's obviously joking, right? But like, for like normies who are just like tuning in and they just see that part and they're just like, what do you mean you don't know who this guy is? You're suing him. And so it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It does not look good to him. Like, from like the normie perspective. And it also kind of throws into question all of his other lawsuits and stuff. If he was just like, oh, I don't know who this guy is, I'm gonna sue him anyway. He was like, wait, I'm just joking. I'm not suing him, actually. I was joking about suing him. Like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Sean before because he was actually in the, you know, the wake up segment of iDubbbz's Content Cop. You know that intro where they had like all the Hassan people jumping around doing funny dances and stuff?
Ethan, wake That's me.
And we know that he saw that because he did actually live stream his reaction to that. So, since the lawsuit is out there and it doesn't look like it's going away, the internet in general has had very mixed opinions about this. So first of all, Frogan. This was one of the first people to be announced in the lawsuit. Honestly, surprisingly, she's kept a bit of a low profile. Probably for the best as well, considering that this is an ongoing legal case. She's only put out one tweet about the situation where she promoted her GoFundMe. And out of $200,000 needed to be raised, she's raised $33,000, which is still an insane amount, especially for a rising star streamer. But it's not really near the goal. Rising star streamer. If you want to do the math, that's about 17% of the goal. In the horse race of GoFundMe's,
yes,
unfortunately,
we saw the little graphic.
Frogan, she takes the bronze medal. She's in last place. The thing is as well, everyone else's legal funds are about half of that. I'm not really sure why Frogan's a double. Maybe she just wants to get a really, really good lawyer. Now, the biggest response Frogan actually gave was on her podcast, Arabs, titled Ethan Klein is Suing Me. However, the episode itself, it was kind of bait because all she really said is that she can't talk about it and her lawyers have told her to not talk about it.
So I found out I was being sued by Ethan Klein at the same time everybody else found out. Obviously, I really can't talk about it much. My lawyer team said to not talk about it, and I can practice self-control.
There you go. Also, Denims. This was another woman to be sued by Ethan. Now, she's been radio silent on pretty much all of this, like Frogan, only really putting out a tweet again to promote a GoFundMe, which at the time of recording is $37,000, which is 38% of completion to the goal. Now, one mistake these ladies made with the GoFundMe is they kept the comments on, because the comments are mostly, from what I can see, Ethan Klein fans semi-sarcastically donating to the GoFundMe to basically mock them because they think the case against...
I mean, I don't think that was a mistake, you know? Like, if somebody's gonna pay money to, like, try to dunk on you, then you let them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that as a mistake personally.
against them will be such a slam dunk. I mean, I'm not really well versed here on how GoFundMe works. I'm guessing 95% is going to go to the lawyers.
Money off people and to be mean, they'll troll anyway, so it might as well make money. Yeah.
Not to Ethan if they lose. Denims has been retweeting a bunch of stuff about the situation, but that's like kind of a tactful decision because again, like, you know, if you retweet stuff, that's someone else, that's not me, as opposed to putting your own words out there. However, for some reason, I do have to note this, she quote tweeted a video of a legal YouTuber talking about how she's absolutely screwed with a picture of Chuck McGill from Better Call Saul in the background. And Casey Tron, who could forget Casey Tron? Ethan Klein was so rent-free about Casey Tron, he systematically proved that while reacting to his content nuke video, she was smoking more weed than actually talking.
She smoked more than she spoke. Casey Tron smokes 42 times during her reaction. Well, we tallied them up, and lo and behold, there's 15 minutes 40 seconds of commentary versus 18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking.
Now, Casey Tron has done the opposite of Denims and Frogan. She has gone full nuclear, basically commenting a lot on the lawsuit. She did the obligatory tweet promoting her GoFundMe like all the others have. She outlines all the hate and harassment she's gotten over the years for a streaming career, as well as Ethan Klein's lawsuit. In the same tweet as well, she also talks about the
Wait, why does he not read my tweets? I thought my tweets were good. Know what we call that, chat? That's right. Racism.
Of having possible generational debt and being by herself during this ordeal. Now, apart from the tweets, she has gone with the 300 IQ strat of deleting all the VODs talking about Ethan and pretending they never existed, which I'm very sure will be an amazing defense in court. Your Honor, it didn't happen. All charges are now dropped. She also went on a stream.
Well, I don't think that that's the defense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that, like, it's supposed to be like hiding it from the court or whatever. I assume that it's supposed to like stop like the like H3 audience from attacking her and like clipping her and stuff of that nature. To be DMing minors to see your tweets? Is that a thing? You see the XXL Cypher trailer? No, I did not. I will be watching it when it comes out though. Trust and believe.
And despite wanting to keep her mouth shut and delete,
she always deletes her VODs. It isn't new because of Ethan. Oh, okay.
The VODs and the evidence, she said, and I quote, "A no good motherfucker and his ugly ass wife." There was also a clip going around of someone going in to check up on her after she announced that she was being sued, and she was dancing to K-pop, so I guess at least she's taking it in stride.
Dude, what is this? By sober reaction to Ethan Klein suing me. This is real. Plea to Ethan Klein about 80%.
And although not really related to the lawsuit,
Papa pedophile. I mean, sorry, excuse me. Papa Gut. That was a little slip of the tongue there.
There is some good news about Casey Tron. She actually got engaged to her partner on stream whilst outside a Subway in Walmart. Now, I've talked about the 3 people being sued, but what about the bigger creators, the people that are involved in a larger scale, like, for example, Hassan and iDubbbz? Well, obviously, everyone wanted to hear from Hassan because all of this drama is basically revolved around him. Even though he's not involved in the lawsuit directly, his presence is palpable around this. This obviously all stemmed originally from that incredibly long-running beef between Ethan and Hassan, and that's why all these kind of, like, orbiters and stuff, they got caught in the crossfire. So Hassan...
Well, that's actually... instead of being sorry, that's the opposite of being true. It started with Frogan technically. So yeah,
basically clapped back, saying that washed up old YouTubers will do anything instead of taking some time off and going therapy. This was while quote tweeting a Dexerto article talking about Ethan's lawsuit. He also did discuss the lawsuit a little bit on stream. He basically said that Ethan is a mentally ill stalker that has infinite resources and called the legal system broken for letting stuff like this allowed.
Call it for what it is. He's abusing the legal system the way stalkers do. No, that's precisely what he's doing. But in this circumstance, because the legal system is fundamentally broken, if you have a lot of money, you can do this kind of thing. When you're depraved and you're manic and you're an insane person and you don't care about like wasting unlimited funds, especially considering that he does technically have virtually unlimited funds, you can be a vexatious litigant. It's like having a mentally ill stalker who has an unlimited amount of money and power.
I mean, it really doesn't matter what side you're on in this situation, but one thing I can agree with Hassan on is the legal system is stupid because it does favor people that have more money than you. This is a tale as old as time. You go against a corporation, usually they'll make it so you can only sue them as an individual person, not a, you know, a group lawsuit. So that usually then ends up you being buried in paperwork or buried in lawyers' fees. They try to drag it out as much as possible. And, you know, if these girls want to get lawyers to defend themselves, they'll need like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars anyway. Now, I'm not saying that these streamers are poor or anything. As we all know, streamers make a lot of money. You get like one whale in the chat, one stream can cover you for a month easily. But that's more my criticism of the legal system in general, where, you know, rich person can take person with less money to court and they basically already have the upper hand. He also on stream called Ethan a petulant child that just wants attention.
I go through this back and forth where I'm like, should I not cover this at all? But also because I know that's what he wants ultimately. He wants attention. He's like a petulant child, a pathetic crybaby, a permanent victim, right?
So yeah, it doesn't really seem like their relationship will get fixed anytime soon. And last but definitely not least, iDubbbz. Has iDubbbz... No, he didn't say anything. Yeah, are you surprised? I mean, look how close the video is to ending. I mean, he made the content cut. 2 of the 3 people featured in that are now being sued. I mean, all he's really done at the minute is retweet someone criticizing Ethan. Ethan Klein is literally using the Donald Trump strategy of trying to bleed your opponents dry of everything they have to silence them. This is so insane. I mean, to be fair, he's probably got like a lot going on his plate at the minute, so adding this to the list probably...
He read everybody's tweets but mine. I thought my tweets were good. Okay, we know what you are, Pyrocynical. Gosh darn it.
It just makes things worse. Overall, I'm not really sure how this lawsuit's going to end. There was a YouTube video made by someone much smarter than me, Legal Mindset, and he actually did a deep dive on the Denims lawsuit, but from what he's saying, it doesn't look very good.
The guy's a right winger. That guy is a right winger. Come on, his streamer university coverage was just as bad. That's true. Well, to be fair, he covered my section of it pretty fine. You know, that guy isn't even a lawyer. Well, he's not a lawyer. No, he has to be a lawyer. Oh, right. How we got here in the first place. Yeah, Ethan's mad at Pyrocynical for that take. He posted this in between yelling out about Taylor Lorenz and bro tips. The fact that I need to explain to half the internet that I was kidding when I said I didn't know Shonda Black was black is honestly disturbing. And second of all, my dude, fire your barber unless you ask like Hillary Clinton. Like, Ethan got mad at this coverage. It wasn't even like unfavorable to him. It wasn't even unfavorable to him. Like, Pyrocynical was laughing at it because it was like a funny thing to say in this instance. You know? But yeah, sure. Good. Attack the centrist drama tubers too. I'm sure that they'll appreciate that. It'll cover you favorably in the future. I'm sure that they will cover you favorably in the future if you attack them at every instance. When they don't like fall in line with whatever you say. Yeah, all right, sure. I think that's it, right? Yeah. So yeah, so Ethan had a problem with that video, and so that's pretty funny. Oh, yeah, on vacation, by the way. It was barely opinionated coverage. I mean, there were some times where I was just like, you know, he would laugh at something, I'd be like, that's a bit, it's kind of gross. But all in all, like for like drama tuber coverage, not terrible. You know, he didn't like side with, you know, Frogan Denims and Casey Tron or whatever, but like he did acknowledge that the legal system does try to bury smaller creators and smaller people, normal people in legal fees when rich people have all the money and power. So like not crazy bad. But yeah, he did call me a drama slopper though. I'm like, yo, chill. He called me a drama slopper. He did show my thumbnails though. My thumbnails are kind of sick. They're pretty good. This was my favorite.
Gaming and also video essays.
Also, he said that I do gaming, which respect.
So Sean, like most people, he does reaction content, gaming, and also video essays that are kind of more on the political side. He also, like pretty much 90% of English-speaking people on this platform, posts drama slap content. He actually had his... I don't
always do drama slap content. Trauma slap king. Shit. Okay, we need to... Maybe this is a lesson. Maybe we need to learn to not wade into drama slop as quickly or as easily. Anyway, let's get to the Mizcliff clip. Let's see what this Mizcliff clip is about. Ugh. Yeah. Honestly, that wasn't unfavorable coverage. Maybe now I'll get a freaking knowledge panel on Google. Please, Google, I deserve it. Give me my knowledge panel. Is having an opinion on someone else's actions considered drama slop these days? Yeah, depends. The non-drama slop Mizcliff clip, true. Grimlow is MSNBC, you are E-News, stop. I am Entertainment Tonight, correct. Will you or have you discussed Mark Reblet at all? The Mark Reblet of it all? How did he get involved? Was he like, I don't know what I don't remember actually. I do have to use the bathroom though. So, here, should I leave you with a... You know, I'll leave you with the Mizcliff clip while I run to the bathroom real quick. Ooh, it's cold.
Understand? Is that a hard thing to understand? Apparently this guy also defended me. Sonda Black claims, I don't know who this is. Silky's a hypocrite for uninviting Mizkit, but being cool with Aiden Ross, DDG, Sneeko, and Neon.
Right now. We are, bro, I don't get, niggas know I don't care, bro. Mizkit tries to censor the door, he's not getting inside.
You talk to him? Have I?
No. We do not fuck with weird people. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. He's gonna see this clip. I don't care. You're not getting inside. I seen
like it's funny to laugh at and dunk on Mizkif or whatever, but like yeah, you're saying base, you're saying W, but chat, these people hang around with fucking weird people, right? That's the issue. They hang around fucking Aiden and Ross. Like fuck Mizkif, but fuck them too. All these fuckers are weird. You all hang around weird people. You can't sit here and act like on a moral high horse of being like, we don't fuck with weird people. Fuck Mizkif, get Mizkif.
Listen, every content creator has problems and they're all freaks in the sheets. Every single content creator you know is a freak and a piece of shit. Let's be honest. They're all terrible people. Every content creator you know is a massive dog shit person, chat. They're all bad. They're all horrible people. You want to know why? It's because the truth is, everyone is a terrible person. Everyone in the world is a terrible person. We're all bad people. All of us. One in chat if you're preying on my downfall right now. Two in chat if you're hoping someone comes to my room right now and punches me in the face. Even NMP LOL. That guy's terrible. We're all horrible people. Clint Stevens, he didn't thank my sub last month. We're all bad. Everyone. Every single person. Name one streamer that's a good person. You can't. They're all bad. They're all bad. There's only one good streamer on this platform, chat, and that's Asmongold, because he's the only one that doesn't run ads. Every other streamer is selfish and greedy. Remember that.
Let's get out of here. When you have fucking DDG and Aiden Ross next door over. What are we talking about? They just hang out with Sneeko and Neon? Yeah. Fucking Nazis. You're hanging around
Wait, what the fuck? Why is he... What are you bringing up Higsy Pigsy for? What is this clip? This is one of my offline chatters. What the fuck? I used to be a Miz mod. There's some weirdos in the community over the years, exactly like Neon. They just hung out with What the fuck is that? That is so random that Higsy Pigsy is in this clip. Alright, what's up, Higsy Pigsy? This is the first time I've seen your messages in a year. That's ridiculous. What's up, Higsy? Higsy, I want you to come and name the weirdo mods. Put them in chat who you think are weird, and we will go over it on stream. We can address it because we need to clearly clear people out if Higsy Pigsy left. That's a crazy... If Higsy Pigsy pieced out, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but... I gotta have a complete reorder of this community.
Fucking Nazis talking about, oh, we don't hang out with fucking.
Is Aiden Ross really a Nazi though? Isn't he Jewish? How is he a Nazi? I don't understand anti-Semitism. I don't even understand cemeteries. Like, I don't know. I feel like people throw words around a lot that are kind of ridiculous, right? Like, it's the same reason why I get pissed when people call me racist. It's like, I'm not, I know I'm racist. Just fucking say it. Don't say I'm a closeted racist. Just call me a racist. But, like, I don't think Aiden Ross is a Nazi. That doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't that mean that he hates Jews? I don't think he hates Jews. Maybe he does. I don't fucking know.
Mizkif. Like, I'm sorry to say it. Mizkif is not as bad as the fucking Nazis you're hanging on. Like, I'm sorry. What a miss, chat. It's so bad. What do you mean it's so bad? You missed the worst take of all time? The goes a roller coaster? Okay, now I need to see it. Okay, what? I just come back and chat is going insane. Chat is going crazy. Just giving missing every brain cell. Prepare yourself. Okay. Let's see.
Understand? Is that a hard thing to understand? Apparently this guy also defended me. Sonda Black claims I don't know who this is. Silky's a hip.
Sonda Black. Okay, listen. You don't need to little bro me like that. I have a normal white person name. Bro, you could have a normal white person name and you still get mispronounced. Still get mispronounced.
Hypocrite for uninviting Miskit, but being cool with Aiden Ross, DDG, Sneeko, Neon.
Is saying right now, we are, bro. I don't get, niggas know I don't care, bro. Miskit tries to censor the door. He's not getting inside.
You talked to him? Have I?
No.
Wait, has he? Have we spoken before? I don't know if I talked to Miskit or not. I don't think so. Y'all would know. Streamer Awards? I know I didn't talk to Miskit about the Streamer Awards. Maybe on Twitter? No, I don't think so. I don't think I've spoken to Miskit. I think Miskit has seen one of my clips. Miskit has seen my Streamer Award clip, but we've never spoken. Right?
I fuck with weird people. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. He's gonna see this clip. I don't care. You're not getting inside. I seen
like it's funny to laugh at and dunk on Miskif or whatever, but like yeah, you're saying base, you're saying W, but chat, these people hang around with fucking weird people, right? That's the issue. They hang around fucking Aiden and Ross. Like fuck Miskif, but fuck them too. All these fuckers are weird. You all hang around with Okay, this is a good clip though. This is a funny clip. I like this clip. I stand by it. That's why you're my rising star. Keep playing. I'll keep playing. That's funny. People, you can't sit here and act like on a moral high horse of being like, we don't fuck with weird people. Fuck Miskit, get Miskit.
Listen, every content creator has problems, and they're all freaks in the sheets. Every single content creator you know is a freak and a piece of shit. Let's be honest. They're all terrible people. Every content creator you know is a massive dog shit person, chat. They're all bad. They're all horrible people. You want to know why? It's because the truth is, everyone is a terrible person. Everyone in the world is a terrible person. We're all bad people. All of us. What a chat if you're preying on my downfall right now.
What is going on in this clip, bro? What is happening in this? He said, chat, all the content creators you watch are bad people. You know what? Everyone in the world is a bad person. You know what? I'm a bad person. One in the chat if you hate me, chat. One in the chat if you hate me right now.
Two in chat if you're hoping someone comes to my room right now and punches me in the face. Even NNP LOL. That guy's terrible. We're all horrible people. Clint Stevens, he didn't thank my sub last month. We're all bad. Everyone. Every single name one streamer that's a good person. You can't. They're all bad. They're all bad. There's only one good streamer on this platform, chat, and that's Asmongold, because he's the only one that doesn't run ads. Every other streamer is selfish and greedy. Remember that.
Let's get out of here. When you have fucking DDG and Aiden Ross next door over. What are we talking about? I mean, he's full farming right now. You know what I mean? So far, I'm not mad at anything he said because he's farming. You know, he's not being serious. But it was funny. It was funny. It caught me off guard. Hang out with Sneeko and Neon? Yeah. Fucking Nazis. You're hanging around
Wait, what the fuck? What are you bringing up Higsy Pigsy for? What is this clip? This is one of my offline chatters. What the fuck? I used to be a Miz mod. There's some weirdos in the community over the years. Exactly.
Wait. Okay. This is like in full circle. He banned me. He banned you? Stop. What is happening in this clip? What is going on? What is happening in this clip, bro?
Acting like Neon, they just hung out with What the fuck is that? That is so random that Higsy Pigsy is in this clip. Alright, what's up, Higsy Pigsy? This is the first time I've seen your messages in a year. That's ridiculous. What's up, Higsy? Higsy, I want you to come and name the weirdo mods. Put them in chat who you think are weird, and we will go over it on stream. We can address it because we need to clearly clear people out if Higsy Pigsy left. That's a if Higsy Pigsy pieced out, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but
I'm banned, so I can't, and he banned me. He's lying that I can do that. That's crazy.
I gotta have a.
Well, you're welcome over here, Higsy Pigsy. You know what I mean? You've upgraded.
Complete reorder of this community.
Fucking Nazis talking about, oh, we don't hang out with fucking.
Is Aiden Ross really a Nazi though? Isn't he Jewish? How is he a Nazi? I don't understand.
Okay.
Sean the Black says she's my
Jewish people can be
African
Nazis as well. Look
Tyrannian
at the
just subscribed.
entirety of the IDF. First of all, I was called a gay. I was called a gay slur Jew in his Discord by a mod in 2019, and last time I looked, he was a mod still. Yeah, that'll do it. But like, Sneeko is very clearly a Holocaust denier. Like, we don't even have to like mince words here. So having Stephen Miller as a Nazi, I don't think Miskiv knows what that is. To be fair, Aiden is too stupid to be an ideological Nazi. That's fair, right? But like, he's fine with Nazis. If you know what I mean? It's like that saying, like, if you're at a table with 9 Nazis, right, and you don't pull out the, you feel me? Then like you're at your table with 10 Nazis. Even if Aiden wasn't a Nazi in chat 100%, yes, 100%. His chat is full of Nazis, right? Like, Aiden is fine hanging out and being around Nick Fuentes, who is a Nazi, and Sneeko, who's a Holocaust denier as well. So, hey, I ain't gonna mince words here.
Anti-Semitism. I don't even understand cemeteries. Like, I don't know. I feel like people throw words around a lot that are kind of ridiculous, right? Like, it's the same reason why I get pissed when people call me racist. It's like, I know I'm racist. Just fucking say it. Don't say I'm a closeted racist. Just call me a racist. But, like, I don't think Aiden Ross is a Nazi. That doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't that mean that he hates Jews? I don't think he hates Jews. Maybe he does. I don't fucking know.
Miskiv. Then why are you making it? Okay. Miskiv is not. You know what? I have to take a step back and realize that nothing he's saying is genuine right now. He's complete farming. He almost got me, chat. He almost successfully rage baited me into actually talking to him as though he's being serious here. I almost got. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I almost got. I think some of his comments are serious. I think like the problem with Miskiff, as I said earlier when I talked about Miskiff before as well, problem is you can't tell about what Miskiff is saying is serious and not serious, you know? And so it's impossible to parse that out. And so you just treat everything like Miskiff is saying as though it's a rage bait and don't even involve yourself in trying to like have a genuine discussion about things, you know? Hall of Fame rage baiter. I respect it, honestly. I respect it. Like he almost got me. He almost got me to start talking to him as though he's serious and try to explain to him about how like Aiden Ross is a Nazi or Nazi adjacent or hangs around Nazis or whatever. He almost got me. I was about to do it too. Look at your face in the clip right now. I stand by that face. That's a good face right there. That's the fucking Nazis you're hanging around. Like, I'm sorry.
Really?
Right? No.
Ooh. I'm not as bad. Wait a minute. Maybe the Hassan orbiters aren't.
Stop. Okay, you know what? It's still fuck Miskiff, but Miskiff is kind of funny. You know what? I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him. He's kind of funny. Okay, I gotta give it to him on that. That's so stupid. Oh my goodness, bro. So, you know, I think he's actually a piece of shit, but he's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, he's right. He's not as bad as like the Nazis in the space. You know, sure. You know, if that does it for him, he can have that. He can hold that.
Really?
Right? No.
Ooh. I'm not as bad. Wait a minute. Maybe the Hassan orbiters aren't so bad after all, chat. Maybe they're like, you know, maybe they're like the...
Wait, I thought he didn't know who I was. What is going on with people nowadays? I thought he didn't know who I was. What is up with people not knowing who I am and then just turning around and calling me a Hassan orbiter? I don't know. I think that's interesting. He's a liar, confirmed. You were in the content cop. They all know you now. He knows he sees H3. Not enough to say my freaking name correctly. Gosh darn it.
Like the planets around Hassan aren't so bad after. I'm not bad. Interesting.
You don't want to be known for watching black content? You're right. He'll lose his audience.
Yo, Sean the Black, are you going to a party by any chance? Can you invite me on July 4th? I have nowhere to go. If you...
What? Do it. Y'all are crazy, Chad. I don't even know if I want to be here on July 4th. I'm being real. No, I can't. Wait, actually, no. Invite him? I can't. Josh, you made a new friend get Miz in a do-rag? I'm not putting Miz in a do-rag. Do it, no balls? I think I'm busy. Mizkif collab now, please. I feel like it's anti-black if I collab with Mizkif before I collaborate with another black person. You know what I mean? That feels racist on my part. On my end, you know? New twin, Tectone is out, Mizkif is in. Inviting Miz to cook out is crazy work.
You would like to invite me, please let me know. I would love to go.
Not even getting into the fact that this fucker here talking about I voted for Trump just to make myself more money. You're totally fine with that. You're totally chill with that.
Wait, what's wrong with voting for Trump for make more money?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do my censor button for that second. That was an accident.
What's wrong with that? I mean, here's the truth, chat. It's like all these people, when you invite people to a party, when you have friends in real life, is your family all good people? No. You know secrets of your family. You have that one weird uncle that's a huge right-wing Republican. You have that other uncle
that weird uncle's in jail now, dog. I don't know what to tell you. We got that man arrested. He's out of there.
That's kind of coming out of the closet. Like, everyone has their weird sides of their family, right? They have their, you know, Jewish uncle that is for somehow a Nazi. The thing is that any party you go to, even when you were younger, even when you're in college, there are good and bad people, but it's a party because that's what humans are. I find it ridiculous to be like, yeah, I actually kind of disagree with Sean the Black. There's a big difference between someone like Lacey and someone like me. He knows Lacey. So yeah, of course Lacey is going to be invited. He probably knows he's not bad. When I don't think what's his name? Silky. He doesn't know anything about me. He has no idea who I am. He just knows me from Bruce clips from like probably 3 years ago or some shit. He knows who Lacey is.
I get this take. I still disagree with it. You know, we just have a disagreement on this. And that, like, my point is, if you're going to draw a like moral line about you don't want X person here because they have these X moral failing or whatever, you know, it still feels weird to like draw that line at like at Mizkif when you're inviting all of these other people with all of these other issues or problems, right? And then say you're not inviting this person because of their moral problems or whatever. You can say you just don't like their vibes, you know? You can say that you just don't want them to be there. Again, that's why I said I think it's well within Silky's right to say he doesn't want Mizkif there. That's why I said in the full clip. It's well within Silky's right to be like, I don't want Mizkif there. That's just how it is. You know, he has the right to say that for whatever reason. I still think that it's strange about what he makes the choice based on. Right? But it is his right to do so. He can decide to party up with Sneeko or Aiden or Neon or whatever if he so chooses to. Right? But it is a strange line to draw. It would have been better to say, for him to just say, we don't know Miz, so not invite. Yeah, or do it off stream or whatever. But like, this is all streaming culture. This is all farming. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. This was a funny clip. I did laugh. It did make me laugh. I covered this. That's two instances of me being talked about by larger creators. So, hey, we up here, chat. And this is the perfect time to plug that this is how I'm starting my Rising Star campaign. Rising Star 2025 for the Streamer Awards. Vote for me, Sean the Black, or how do you say my name? I remember how he said it. Son the Black. Vote for me. Son the Black for Rising Star. And yeah. But I got through pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today. And in good time too. Anonymous, what's up? Ah. I didn't get it. Dare I say gaming? I'm checking my bookmarks, make sure I don't have anything else I want to talk about. No, that's kind of it, I think. There's always a lot going on, but like nothing that has like a completed story. Like Ironheart is out apparently. Hmm. Hmm. You look at the Jean Grey gameplay, I guess. Maybe we'll play some games, some Marvel Rivals or something. Kai Shrunk AMP. I did see this. Also, I saw people complaining about this as well, which to a certain extent, I understand. Right, like this post said this is the most creative that I've seen all month. But I've seen people saying like, this is actually like not at all creative at all.
I should have took it. Yo! Hey, the first Nikki chair we can actually sit on. Look, I'm on a Nikki chair. Wait, hold on. Nah. Let me think of this. Hey, this your desk, right? Yo, they switched to the desktop. Yeah! Hey, this car room. Yeah. No, it's all the rooms. Look, that arcade is my room. No, that is my room. The keep out sign is Christian. Oh, no, come here. Look, you see that blue LED? That's Phantom's room. I should have took it. Yo! Hey, the first Nikki chair we can actually sit on. Look.
Is it cool?
I'm on a Nikki chair.
It is. It's cool for like a novelty. I don't know what you could do in this room. Right? It's cool. But there are people who are like mad at it, saying that it's like, I can't wait until we get to the next era of streaming because this is uncreative or whatever. Or yeah. I can kind of see people kind of getting a little bit fed up with like the gimmicks. It's like it feels a little bit gimmicky, but like I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I think it's fine. I think it's interesting. I think it's I'm just glad that like somebody is doing these ideas at all. You know, like just instead of just like sitting behind their desk playing their games, and that's kind of the end all be all of their content. You know, I'm glad somebody's actually taking a step to like, yeah, spend his money for like fun, interesting ideas. Right, but I can definitely see like people being like, "Oh, it's gimmicky. It's not for me." I think that's fair. I think both of those are fair takes. Right, but hey, if he's having fun and the audience likes it, go for it. I'm tired of the slop 2 reactions doing nothing. Okay, chill. You don't have to call me out like that. I'll send the rehearsal clip. I don't know if it's safe for TOS. What rehearsal clip? The rooms in the AMP house. The rooms in the AMP house are weird. Is it just me? No, they're weird. Like the carpet choice is kind of strange, and like it like the walls aren't like decorated, but it just feels like I'm just gonna throw stuff up because we have it kind of thing. It is like it's kind of like r/male living spaces a little bit, but it's fine. It's tacky. I think the room is ugly. The room, the shape of the room are all weird. Well, yeah, those are okay. Chat. You're poor. We're poor, right? That is how in mansions rooms look. Rooms are shaped the most inopportune ways, right? To fit and maximize how many rooms you get in a mansion, essentially. They will shove rooms in the smallest corner over there just to make it like a 12 bedroom, 15 bathroom mansion. Yeah, mansion room maxing, exactly. Ro called me poor. I called us all poor. And that's why the room is shaped so strangely. To be fair, Kai's actual room is shaped a little bit better than this. It's not like a flat wall and going into like a freaking like boxagon or whatever. You know? What happens at 2 minutes that I can't see? Oh. Yeah, that gets a bit weird. For sure. Yeah, we'll say a little like 5 seconds of this. Get the vibe.
Hey, maybe, just maybe, it could work on a human being.
It is kind of like this.
Living someone's entire life, from baby until present day. If even just the tiniest bit of Sully could become a part of me, it would all be worth it.
Okay. Yeah. There is also this one, which is also kind of funny. Glenn Powell teamed up with Ashton Hall to do a viral morning routine ahead of the Running Man trailer launch. Oops. Bro, I can't imagine dipping your face in freezing cold water, but also that has like the acidity of lemons. Also, he buys boxed paper towels. Compostable face towels. Secret powder? Or is he drinking cocaine?
We went from Instagram Reels to the big screen.
Wait, what was that?
We went from Instagram Reels to the big screen.
Like, who's he talking to? Is he talking to us watching this video? Or is he making another video? He's talking to, is it a phone he's holding? Or is this a microphone he's holding? I'm so confused.
We went from Instagram Reels to the big screen.
And why is he eating fried chicken and watermelon at the movies in his workout gear? What is going on in this video? That has to be on purpose. That has to be on purpose. I do not believe he sat down and he was like, yeah, bring me some fried chicken and watermelon at the movie theater. That is, it has to be rage bait. It has to be. It has to be. Wait. This isn't even the real movie. This is just the trailer. He walked all the way to the movie theater with fried chicken and watermelon to watch the trailer of the movie. Okay. All right. I mean, it got us talking about it, I guess. I thought it was like maybe like an early screening of the movie. Nope. He's watching the trailer of the movie in the movie theater. And that's why he's there. Respect. I respect that. But yeah. The chicken and watermelon is crazy though. That's crazy. You don't do that? I don't do that. I know, unfortunate. Anyway, that's that part, I guess. Also, apparently, I'm not watching it, but apparently somebody said the Jube did it again. 1 conservative versus 20 feminists 3 days ago, 3.2 million views. Yeah, I'm not watching that. That's not happening. That is peak Jube content, though. I think that covers everything I wanted to see. So what do we do, chat? Do we game? Oh, wait. This. We're gonna see Jean Grey. Can we do cocaine together as a group activity with chat? No. What do you take me for? What's this for in chat? I think for the 5 month subscription. Woo, much appreciated. Death Stranding 2. I've never played Death Stranding 1, so that's not happening. Thank you. I need about Death Stranding 2 is mad fun. Really? Should I play 1 first? Have you seen this lunacy? Probably not. It's posted by Aaron Rupar. Oh, we didn't do the lemonade stand thing. But to be fair, I don't feel like I want to argue about rent control right now. So I don't think you need to. That's just me. They got recaps in 2. I have 1, but 2 is not on PC. Wait, Death Stranding 2 is not on PC? Is it a PS5 exclusive? For now, yeah. Ew. It's going to PC in like 2 years. Ew. As president of the United States, I'm not going to let this communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers. I have all the cards. I'll save New York City and make it hot and great again. Thank you, Trump. Just like I did with the good old USA. Oh, please no. Please no. Hopefully this means that the Democrats will rally around Zoran. My only issue is that the Democrats are going to let Zoran like be deported because they want to institute their own moderate mayor, you know? Here, we're gonna watch this part. Jean Grey.
And I was holding back.
Oh, she's not a flyer. Okay, thank you.
Second shift.
Okay, she has an ability that like marks an enemy and then blows up and it burns.
Cosmic flame.
Oh, it marks multiple enemies and then it burns.
Turning up the heat.
Oh, okay. Do you know who she reminds me of? She reminds me of Brand from League of Legends. Very good for like when enemies are grouped together. You throw down a lot of damaging abilities that burn them, and then it empowers your other abilities. When you do another ability, it like, you know, I like that a little bit. What was, I like that. That's my favorite thing. So she can fly, but temporarily. But like this is only good on like this map. No, maps don't have verticality like this like a lot. You know? A lot of maps just don't have this kind of verticality. That's crazy. He looks good.
You are nothing! Less than nothing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Did she one hit the Hella?
You are nothing!
And she clears the entire battlefield of all summons.
Less than nothing.
Adaptation of Phoenix? Why not?
You are nothing!
That's crazy powerful.
Less than nothing.
I think she'll replace like she does kind of feel like Human Torch. Pretty close. You know? But like better Human Torch. Both with like burning ability, but it looks like she does more damage. You know? It feels like she does more damage than the Human Torch does. She can't perma-fly though. But I don't know. We'll see how good it is. One day we'll get an all-fire team. Give me Pyro. Give me Pyro. And give me Nova. I guess Nova doesn't have fire abilities, I don't think. Ghost Rider. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Ooh, give me Ghost Rider. Give me Ghost Rider as a tank. Give me tank Ghost Rider on his motorcycle, please. That would be sick. Knicks hired Mike Brown. I don't even know what that means, Chatter. Anyway, you know what? The buffs and nerfs? No, we already looked at the buffs and nerfs, I think. We didn't see this. This was new. Give us Sentry. I guess he does have some powers, I guess. You know what? We covered all of this. I might call it here. I'm tired. I've been tired the last few days. Right. I literally went to sleep like pretty early yesterday and I slept for like a bunch of time. I go watch more Death Stranding too. Just after a little afternoon nap. I can't. I have work. I have a work. But yeah, no gaming. Maybe later on my other channel. You should follow my other channel. But yeah, this is probably what I want to call it. Also, peace out, YouTube chat. I didn't even look at you at once, so I'm